Well, the spring split is almost halfway over, which means we're going to start seeing teams qualify for the spring major, or at least get into a stronger contention for spring major and the world championship very soon. But, of course, we have to talk about this incredible European RLCS weekend, and, of course, get a little bit of preview for North America. This first touch here, episode 20 of season 3, Dazzler and Roll Diz and T-Bates on your screen as we get things ready to go.
That's right, Dazzler. That's right. It's not Roll Diz today. It's just Johnny Boy. We're taking over. EU's taking over Rocket League, taking over RLCS, taking over First Touch. This is just the beginning.
Okay, all right. Bates, how you doing?
I had to adjust my camera to make sure that people know that First Touch is doing business because the FT was not enough of the spotlight. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I had to turn my mic down. Hopefully it's not too loud because I know that the conversations that we're about to have with the man in the middle in combination with the other man who's going to join in combination with the other guy who's going to join as well are about to get really intense, really loud, really impactful. It's about to be an absolutely fire First Touch. There's been a whole bunch of hopium and recency bias and everything else in between that has been articulated and perpetuated throughout the whole entire Rocket League scene, throughout the whole entire weekend. So we got to come in. We got to reel everybody back in and bring everybody back to reality. There's been a little bit of an overreaction, and we're about to get into it. Before we get into the video, I just have to let all of you know that over 50% of our viewers, 50% are not subscribed to the channel. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we need your help to get there. So please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and enjoy the video.
That's right. Just so you guys know, Roll Diz will not be joining us on the show. He had a family matter to take care of today, so thank you for Johnny Boy for filling in that spot. But of course, Johnny has some backup today. And let's bring him in. Stumpy Goblin joining us on the show today.
Oh,
hello,
baby.
Stumpy.
Oh, baby. It's a good time. It's a good time to be European. It's a good time for Rocket League. It is a good time to have that guy right above me to argue the case for whatever ends up coming our way. Hello, boys. How are we doing?
I'm not doing so comfortable now that you're both that.
Hey,
that
come
like
on.
that. There's literally a divide in the screen. So this is gonna be an interesting show today. Let's talk about it because obviously this is the hot topic over the course of the day. Was this the best regional RLCS has ever seen? We're talking about the European Spring Open. Let's get it on the globe here. Europe absolutely had a fantastic regional for, again, Vitality. The biggest news was Vitality with Zen's first RLCS debut. Stumpy, did you think it was the best regional we've ever seen in the RLCS?
I always think that there's part of me that maybe like forgets one or two that have been like crazy out there. So maybe there's like one that's better. But I really think that this was absolutely like a top 3, barring any that I've forgotten. I can't think of any that come to mind. So I'd happily say it is the best one we've ever seen, especially considering the result, considering the context that we've seen Zen come in with as well. The fact that Karmine Corp also didn't win. It's seen a rise of some brand new teams in literally rise on BDS. And we saw Liquid, a team who didn't change, up in that top 3 yet again. Oh, sorry, into the top 2 yet again. It basically, as far as I'm concerned, had everything that you'd look for, including Hogan mode, making that ridiculous run, putting us in the best mood on Saturday. Yeah,
bro.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, it was, bro. It was the best regional we've had.
Okay.
Best regional ever, bro. NA can't compete, bro.
Where's your Hogan mode, eh? Where's your Hogan mode?
That's insane. Where's our Hogan?
You're telling me that you didn't look at Hogan mode and you weren't just happy. Like, I'm talking
Hogan
about
mode
them. I'm beaming. I'm so excited to talk about them.
Look, our Hogan mode was Sup last regional. They both finished in the same spot, top 6, but Sup didn't qualify this time around, so I don't know.
That's a shame. I'd love them to.
That being said, I'm assuming you agree with him, Johnny.
Well, you know, it depends what we mean by best. You know, best quality regional we've ever seen from a gameplay perspective. Definitely, I don't think that's really difficult to say because, you know, over time, obviously we might forget other drama and other close matches, but gameplay improves over time. So, you know, was it the best we've seen this season? Yes. Is this season a higher level than ever? Yes. So yeah, it's best gameplay. Definitely, it had the drama as well, though, with, you know, Zen's debut, Hogan mode, and all of the Twitter beef, you know, really just making it entertaining. So yeah, I think for me, probably the best regional we've ever seen.
I also ran a poll on Twitter to ask people, because we were saying on the pre-show, this may well be, yeah, all right, Bates, all right. We said on the pre-show that this may well be the greatest top 4 that we have seen in any regional event, ever. I absolutely agree with that. And Johnny, you brought up the point originally, and I could not disagree with it. Neither did the other two, as far as I was aware. I ran a poll, just under 7,000 votes, and about 3/4 of the people agreed, with 15% then saying they kind of agree, then some people explaining various bits and bobs. Bates, do you disagree with that? And I'm genuinely curious as to why, if you do.
What, the best weekend of all time?
No, the strongest top 4. Like, were they the strongest top 4 ever
in a regional?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an argument that's ever so moving. How you argue against that?
No, but we
point?
mean best,
relatively as well to the time.
No, I'm not even saying relative to the time, because back then, obviously there would have been top 4s that were strong for the time, but obviously gameplay's improved. So would you say, at least if we can't agree best all time relative to the time, best, strongest top 4, just purely if you take a team from 4 years ago, put them in the lobby with any of these teams, they would get destroyed. So we don't even have to think about that.
Exactly.
Just best top 4.
Relative to the time, relative to his time, no. I think it's good competition. But
what would you argue out of interest?
It's like in terms of everybody being the best. I mean, they're all. It's 2023, so of course people are way better. But we can go back to RLCS X and NA regionals back in the winter, when you get the machine, you get SSG, you get NRG, and you get Rogue. All 4 of them up top. That was peak Rocket League. I mean, that was peak.
You can't just sneak Rogue in there.
That's speculation, though.
That's my first killer was averaging 800 points a game.
Okay, cool. So that's 1/3.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Wait a second, though.
The team was winning.
You
got Rock on the back end.
You can't even say that top 4 is close, though, because now we know, certified EU is the stronger. So how would an NA top 4 be in the conversation?
How do we know that? How do we know that EU is just better? Certified. How'd you get there?
Because the results, the EU wins more than NA in every open era event except one, and there's been multiple EU open era events at this point, 6 actually, RLCS open era events. NA's had a winning record at 1 of them, EU at 5. I mean, it's not really a discussion that we need to have any further beyond that. I think it's pretty clear. So, I mean, of course, an EU top 4 is going to be the strongest top 4.
Interesting.
How's NA going to produce a top 4 at that level?
Interesting. 1 is 2 to 4. Thank you very much. 2.
Where's the second one? EU won the fall major as well. They didn't get the winning team, but they had a winning record overall. EU overall had a winning record against NA.
Nobody cares about that. Who cares about this winning record
nonsense?
We're
not talking about top 1. We're talking about top 4 here. If you look at the top 4, EU top 4 at that fall major had a better record than NA top 4. We're talking top 4 right now, not top 1. So Gen.G might have won it for NA. The top 4 EU is still better, though. If you look at the series winning percentage, game winning percentage, just head-to-head winning percentage, NA EU.
So you're taking, just so I'm clear, you're taking top 4. You're not counting the 5 teams, the G1s or the Dignitases in this equation?
No, I'm confused why that even matters.
No, it would be at the lands.
Top 4 was
the
question.
Head-to-head.
Yeah,
it's
top
the winning
4 was
head-to-head at
question,
these
but
lands.
even if you include top 5, EU still has a better record.
Well, yeah,
NA.
I just wanted to be sure what you were saying, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I assume that one, by the way, is the LA major where NA just stomped on Europe, right?
Yeah, NA at the Winter Major last season had a winning record by 1 series. In fact, the grand final, Queso versus G2, the second series, if Queso won that, they would have hard carried EU to a winning record against NA, but because G2 won that, they had a winning record by 1 series. So it was a marginal win there for NA.
Wait,
thanks to Queso.
Hard at that one, because NA were on a tear.
I'm just confused. Wait, how we get to the fall major in its top 4 in comparison to this top 4?
Well, I mean,
what's up, Rise? Let's bring Rise in on this too.
Perfect
we're
timing.
feeling good. We're feeling good.
Perfect timing.
We're starting the debate, Rise. Oh my God, he's got the BDS jersey on.
No, this is Crystal Palace, baby. Big up Crystal Palace.
Okay. I was about to say, listen, we're doing the NA EU debate. We're talking about top 4s. I want you to answer the question. You played in the last regional. Do you think that was the best regional RLCS has ever seen?
In EU for sure. I don't know about NA, but that's the best I've ever played. Not individually, the best regional I've ever played.
Is there one that comes to mind for North America out of interest? Or are you like me where you're kind of thinking, I can't think of all of the regionals?
Nah, I can't think of a NA regional that like springs to mind. Maybe like early RLCS when it was like SSG popping off, but
Would you put Rogue in that conversation out of interest?
what for like
as
in
one
the
of the best
regionals?
teams in in the top 4 back when it was like those top 4 Bates, what were your top 4 before? It was NRG.
I'm talking about Regional 3 or Regional 2, where Rogue won, they beat NRG, they went Game 7 against the Machine, and you had SSG still in their prime. Those were 4 great teams. Like, it's very similar to what this regional was. I thought they were very, very equivalent. Back then, I thought NA was significantly clear of EU. Now, EU might be a little better than NA at the moment.
Well, okay, I've got a question for you then. Do you think if there was a LAN at that point, there wasn't obviously, but do you think if there was a LAN at that point, those 4 NA teams would have taken top 4 and EU wouldn't have even cracked top 4 with any other teams?
Well, it depends.
Well, that's the difference then. If you say no, I agree. I don't think they would either. I think right now, if there's a LAN right now after Regional 1 that we've just seen, EU would take top 4 and they wouldn't have top 4 at all.
So I disagree there. I disagree there.
That's just delusional.
Because I don't see that ever happening for any region. Like, I don't think that any region will get those top 4 spots out
Karmine Corp just came 4th in EU. Karmine Corp just came 4th place.
They lost.
And last time there was a major, they won it. So I feel like the other 3 teams have elevated above Karmine Corp. Karmine Corp might be,
elevated above them.
I think it's a bit early to be saying.
Yeah, I think we need to
well,
prove the break. Thank you, Ryan.
Listen, I still rank them number 2, but the other
Number
teams
2?
for
What you're putting Vitality above already?
Vitality number 1. Yeah, of course.
No way.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's a bit of what they
That's
call
a little recency bias, eh, Johnny?
I think it might be.
Heck yeah.
Well, I mean, you can call it recency bias, but we've got no other evidence. We've got no evidence of them losing. They've won every event they've played. They've played 3 events, won all of them. They haven't lost a series yet.
Events.
Yeah,
they played one event.
nature-
They played one event. They played one
They,
event.
and it's the
Don't get me
nature
started.
of the results at the same time.
Series-
The preseason friendlies don't count.
Steel Series, Gamers Led Borders,
Those don't
LCS.
count.
I don't see them losing an event, though. Like, whether you want to call it
You
preseason
don't see them
friendly,
losing an
I
event.
think
I do.
I see teams like Complexity losing the similar event in NA, and that makes me think, okay, they must have felt the pressure there. Vitality clearly didn't. They won the EU equivalent. I don't know. I think it's worth something. They haven't lost yet, so right now for me, yeah, I power rank them number 1.
So do you think Vitality just go all 3 wins in spring?
I don't think so. I think somebody will get their number in,
So
one,
what
of the,
happens if Karmine
in one
wins?
of the regionals. I think Karmine Corp will win 1 regional this split.
So
yeah,
if they both win one, how is Vitality better?
Well, because I think Vitality is going to win the other one. I think
So
Vitality
win
win 1
2.
of the ones left.
I said
and-
2-1.
Yeah, Vitality 2, Karmine Corp 1, and I think the top 4 is going to be pretty consistent. Maybe Moist can get in the mix, but I think the top 4 is very, very good right now.
I think it depends on that bracket.
I think it's
This bracket is looking tough.
Yeah,
coming into
that's
this
what I
regional.
mean. The bracket's pretty brutal right
This
now.
is a really
for
hard
EU,
format
so,
to like
yeah.
actually have them definitely meet in the final as well. Like to have that always go to the like first and second like spots, right?
Like,
Like,
I don't know
if
if
they
you're.
meet.
I don't know if they're going to show the EU predicted bracket this show, but I think Rise, correct me if I'm wrong, but BDS, Vitality, Liquid, and Moist are all on the same side of the bracket, which means that if they all win their matches they're supposed to win, then you can't have all 4 of them in the top 6. I think one of them has to be eliminated before then, just because they're all on the same side of the bracket.
Yeah.
So if they all go according to seeding, one of the big 4 will miss top 6, but it's because they're all on the same side of the bracket,
Right.
It's unlucky
For
for the
me-
big 4.
I think it's just the nature of Vitality's wins. It's not clear cut in how they've been winning, even from the start to the finish. The start 5 games with Quadrant, the end 7 games with Liquid. They're showing that they can be beat, and we've seen Liquid, who've also taken series off of Karmine Corp, and then Karmine Corp, who have beaten everybody, but they're also losing to BDS. I think it's just. I feel like
A brand new BDS, in fairness, like a very different BDS to what we've seen before.
I think people need to pump the brakes on Karmine. Karmine lost 1 time. They've lost 1 time.
If you don't have them number 1 power rankings,
And
then
they've lost
Yeah,
one
I got
time.
number 2.
Like they've lost 1 time. There's no way you can hype up Exotic and Itachi for the whole entire year, Johnny boy. And then come on first touch right after they finally lose and say they're second best team in the There's
No, I
no
can't.
way.
You know why? It's because I've been telling you for a long time now that Zen is that guy. You
But
argued
Alpha's
with
better
me
than
8
Zen.
months ago that LJ's better than Zen. Now you're telling me
Okay,
that
that's
you got
a
to
bait
cool it
sell.
on the Zen
No,
hype.
that was a
Like,
bait
That's
sell.
a bait
That was a bait sell. That was the first time Bates has ever been
I've been
wrong. I'll admit it
hyping up
online.
Zen for
I'll
a
admit it on
while
national
now.
Twitch television. National Twitch television, Bates was wrong about Zen and LJ. LJ's still great though, but Zen's just better. I put it. Listen, that's not. Listen, Bates is wrong one time. That's the only one time. Other than that, Bates is around the money. First off, Alpha was definitely the best player this weekend. We need to put that in perspective.
No, I would have to agree.
Yeah, you know, he was. Just like Itachi was the best player in Regional 1 last split, but, you know, I still think Zen's better than
Okay,
Alpha.
wait. Let's zero in on Zen right now. Question on the screen, and let's also roll the highlight package as well. Did Zen's debut live up to the hype? We're gonna show Vitality's individual stats at the end of this. I want to start with this one off with Johnny Boy. What were your thoughts on Zen's debut?
Just, you know, one word answer. Did it live up to the hype? Yes. For me, it did. Yes.
Stumpy?
I'm going to be mean here because I'm going to say no. Purely, but even though they did obviously a fantastic job, purely because Zen wasn't the top performer. He did like 99.9% of the things right, where they ended up winning the event, etc., blah, blah, blah. But for me, for Zen's to live up to, you know, the absolute peak of the hype, then I would say he had to be the outright best performer in Vitality. It's not an issue that he wasn't. It's great that he wasn't for Vitality as well. But I would say no on a very, very harsh reason.
Rise?
I'm going to say Vitality lived up to their hype, but Zen hasn't yet. But as like a player, like just pause before you jump on me. Zen is like, he can be that guy, but he's literally brand new, so you kind of have to give him a bit of time. But he's not reached his height yet. And we've seen glimpses, as we're seeing right now, but Zen hasn't reached his full potential.
Yeah, I would probably go off the same backs of Rise and Stumpy here. I think like, definitely a great showing, but I think we wanted just to see a little bit more. But,
Interesting indeed.
What did he do wrong? I feel like everybody, if he didn't live up to the hype for you, like you must have been expecting something wrong here.
That's a fair question, Johnny. Hold on, Johnny. I'm gonna let you get that question off first, but before we get into that, I just want to let everybody know that when we were discussing this topic on Monday, this man enrolled this man as in Dazarin was not saying what he just said. You did not say those words.
Wow, that's great.
You were capping.
That's great.
You did not say that. You said, of course he lived up to the hype.
Do you have any proof?
You
Where's
said,
the
of
proof?
course he lived up to the hype. You're capping. You're behind us right now, bro.
Can you show me any proof? He's bringing up individual stuff. Now when you bring up other stuff, let's bring up the facts right now. Am I a flip-flopper? You have no evidence I said that, Mr. Lawyer.
I got vouchers.
Get it together.
I got vouchers from J-Ski. He is an alibi, a first-hand witness.
Stop misdirecting. Stop misdirecting. The numbers are here right now. Speaks for himself. Even your man Alpha 54. Radosa had the best rating out of everybody there. But Alpha and Zen, yeah, they did what they had to do. Vitality won the tournament, but I think we were expecting a little bit more.
Anyways,
you can't complain about a win. You can't complain about a win.
What did he do wrong?
Yeah, I didn't say he did. I didn't say. Okay.
Can I back up my reasoning of no, he didn't? Because I have the highest expectations in the absolute world for Zen. I need him to be playing at the absolute perfect level for me to say that lives up to his perfect level of hype. He has to be the best one player on Vitality. He has to be what we were all thinking, like he is going to be the everything for them realistically. He wasn't. That is completely fine. That is not a bad thing. That is a great thing for Vitality. It's good that Radosin outperformed him. It's good that Alpha outperformed him. It's okay that he didn't, and I'm so excited to see where he can then grow up into the height that we've seen him in his 1v1s, being a complete game changer.
I don't know what people want to see from him. If he didn't live up to the hype, what
this
did he
is
want
what
to see?
this is. Well, the hype. Let's be real. The hype was that y'all were saying he was God. Like y'all were saying he was gonna go in and he was literally gonna change everything. Oh my God, everybody should be afraid of this man. Da 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 da. And that wasn't the case. So if that's where the hype is, did he live up to that? No, he didn't live up to that. He's a great player. Vitality did absolutely phenomenal, and people should be scared of him. But he wasn't God.
Hold on, no, because listen. So Farah in a post-match interview, I forget what series it was, but Farah said. He spoke at length of this topic actually, so he won't be able to like paraphrase even close to what he said.
I think I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, he had his like players behind him dancing, trying to distract him. But yeah, he said that Zen is just bringing out the best of Alpha and Radosin because they have like the perfect teammate in Zen right now, and that's what's really surprised Farah. He didn't expect that he would just come in and immediately gel with the team and be so easy to play with because most of these young mechie players you have to like teach them how to leave a boost there, maybe don't try and solo play that one. Maybe just try and, play a 50-50. I feel like what I saw was pretty immaculate. Like, obviously, he had a couple of mistakes. Not saying he played perfectly, but I think for me, yeah, I think he exceeded the hype because in the only doubts I had was that he might not be a good team player, or he might like crumble under pressure. He was the best player in the grand final. The grand final, he was the best player on the pitch. That's like the highest pressure situation when the whole like lobby were starting to, you know, like drop off and level, and he was the best player on the pitch in the grand final. So yeah, he can deal with the pressure. He's like seemingly a perfect teammate, and I don't remember many huge blunders either. Like for me, I think he exceeded the hype, exceeded it, because he did the bits that I wasn't sure about. And he did it perfectly.
I think for the hype, he had to be throughout the entire bracket, everything that everyone has expected. Are those very lofty expectations? Obviously. Like, they're the highest expectations we've had of a player for however many years, realistically. Like, since your Scrub Killers, since your Daniels, all that kind of thing. Do I think he is getting, is he at that point? He's on that trajectory that Scrub is on. And, you know, the Daniels, yeah, absolutely. He's doing better in aspects than them as well. I think just the hype for him was so monumentally huge and almost like unattainable, in my opinion, that there is nothing that I could say about him and be like, actually, mate, you should have worked on this, you should have done that. But I think that the hype is just so huge that it's very hard to live up to the perfection.
Karmine Corp and beat Liquid twice in a row. What more do you want? Like that, I didn't see Vitality doing that without Zen. I didn't see them doing that without Zen. This is what I'm
saying. I think Vitality lived up to their expectation because everyone expected them to be as good. But based off like what I know Zen can do, I don't think he played like to his best. Is my point.
I also love that there's more that we can see from him as well.
Yeah.
Like, I love that there's room for him to grow into where, and I appreciate 3's very different to 1's, etc., less time on the ball. But the fact that this is even a conversation where we're saying, oh, actually, he didn't live up to the hype or he exceeded the hype. I want everybody to then get on that page of, oh my word, yes. He was basically a bot in that game. He was pure perfection.
Yeah, and I'm not talking down on him when I say it like that, because like I said, he's a great player, great fit for Vitality on a new level. But it wasn't, y'all, do I need to put up a montage of everything everybody was saying before he joined the league? I mean, if I got to find the clips, I'll put them up next week, because y'all were talking, I mean, there's things I can't say on this show, but the way people were talking, the level that y'all were putting them on, no, like, let's be real. Now that they won and everything, everybody wants to come up on here and be realistic, like, oh, he was this, and oh, he's this type of player now, and that is crap. That is crap to me. Like, let's be very, very honest with what we were saying, how much of a pedestal y'all putting him on versus what he's doing
You're
now.
capping. You changed from Monday to Wednesday. You're
talking about something that don't have any type of proof on teammates.
Bro.
Oh my God.
Chat and everybody in here, I promise y'all he was not saying this stuff on Monday. He was
What was he saying? What was he saying on Monday? What was he saying on
Monday?
Tell us what he was saying on Monday.
You can.
Like he's talking about something that is completely irrelevant.
No, listen. Like, hold on. How many of you thought Vitality were going to win this event before this last weekend?
I didn't.
I said no.
I didn't think they were going to win. I thought that they were going to maybe finish second, but I thought that KC would probably win. Liquid are obviously really, really good. BDS are back. Yeah, you're allowed to think, like, I think they were
sorry to cut you off there, Johnny, but I'm going to need an apology from a certain Debaberin. After some Twitter interaction, I'm gonna need a little apology from you, man.
You know what? I'm sorry I wasn't familiar with your game.
Wait, what, Daz? What did you say? I don't know. What did you talk down on BDS?
No, I mean, I did. Because we had a little exchange on the timeline. I brought up some Amigo results. He said just wait till the regional. I said I was gonna wait on it. To be fair, he proved me wrong. So, like I said, I'm sorry I wasn't familiar with your game. I'll keep that in mind. I do still having y'all making the major though.
Appreciate it. I hope you will as well.
There you go. So we're gonna end that right there. That's all I'm gonna say right there. But yeah.
We can continue. I just want to answer the
question. Yeah, I avoided to answer the question the whole entire time. I also avoided answering it on Monday. I think
you also avoided answering this one.
Oh, wait, you want me to answer it? Man, I can answer it.
Yeah.
I can answer it. The question's not answerable right now. That's the only answer. That's the only answer, because on the one part, I thought he played absolutely amazing in Rocket League. I thought it was incredible. I thought every single thing that Farrah talked about, he was doing. I didn't expect the young man to come in and start double resetting and triple resetting everybody. I thought that stuff that people were saying was just outlandish. That's outlandish. That hype is unbelievable. I thought he fills in that third man role. He let Alpha work, and listen, they're a championship winning team. So, but I mean, like, it's one regional. I gotta see more. The hype for him is he's gonna come in and he's gonna contend for majors, like really contend, and he's gonna win the world championship. That's the hype. So that remains to be seen. That's one region.
Okay, so change it to, is it living up to the hype then, instead of does it live up, because the debut continues. You know, it's not debut regional, but debut major coming up. If they keep qualifying, debut worlds, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, for me, absolutely, it's living up to the hype. They won the event, so that's already exceeded expectations for me, and he hardly put a foot wrong. So I think, yeah, he's living up to the hype.
I will say it was expected for them to win at least one of these. So I can't say that's
the first one though. 4-1 in Karmine Corp and beating Liquid twice, like going undefeated. Like I don't think many people would have said that's like the most likely outcome.
I wouldn't say. I say it was realistic. Go ahead, Stumpy.
The question is,
it's believable, but it's not the most likely outcome going into the weekend.
The question is, did Zen's debut? Are we talking about Zen as an individual and how he then enables Alpha, Rose, and whatever, or we're talking about Vitality's end result? Because if it was about Vitality, yes, I think they did live up to the hype of having Zen. But Zen as an individual, I think he has to be the best performing player on that team for him to live up to the hype. That is where I would differ.
That's a high hype. Alpha 54's go. That's all I gotta say.
I think it's incredibly high hype. I think it's insanely high hype. Absolutely, yeah.
You got to be one of the best in the game. Zen on his way though. Also though, I want to shout out Radosin. He played so well. Every single thing he was doing was so solid.
Radosin was the best in some series, and Alpha was the best in other ones, and then Zen was best in the final. Like, I think they all had their moments, but it's not. They didn't like they played that many series for him to completely take over like people want him to. We could scratch the Quadrant series. He was obviously very nervous there. The very first series of the tournament. After that, how many times did they play? 4? Right. Like they played G1, Karmine Corp, and then Liquid twice. So it's a very small sample size to be saying that, oh yeah, he didn't carry hard enough.
Okay, but let me ask you another question. I'm curious. On an individual basis, individual, who had a better debut, Daniel or Zen?
No comparison. I said this on a smaller podcast the other day. Sorry, Johnny. But there's no the comparison's dead. Like that? Like, it's over. There's no comparison between Zen and Daniel, and it's disrespectful to Zen's name to compare them. I'm sorry, NA, but it's disrespectful to compare them. They're not in the same league.
What was Dan's debut?
They got top 2. They got top 2 now.
Top 2, 3 0-second goals. Brought SSG the first they've been in a while.
Oh, they got also they went NA as well, so like, you know.
Yeah, so you have to go by the ELO. Yeah. So he went second, and then the next one was 4th, and then they went 9th to 12th. So not.
I'm talking about I'm talking about the initial RLCS.
We can't compare the split after regional.
Yeah, I'm talking about the initial RLCS.
Well, no, Zen clears in every aspect.
You think Zen clears?
Yes.
Yeah. Without a doubt, he won.
Isn't that
Bates out? But I'm just Bates question mark.
Zen won, so it's hard to argue if somebody doesn't. It's against somebody who wins. So like, if you want to say Zen, I respect it, but I do want to keep it respectable. They didn't have an alpha.
No, listen, I knew you were gonna say that. But what did Alpha do before Zen? Like, what were they doing? They weren't winning EU. They haven't won anything since RLCS Season X. Like with multiple different teammates.
Okay. First off. Listen, you gonna try to be disrespectful to the legends of this game. See,
Space Station were winning before Daniel, more than Vitality were winning.
Alpha's playing with two men who can't air roll. Of course you can't win. So you gotta take that whole entire.
He played with Radosin and Sizen.
You said RLCS X. You said RLCS X. So
I said that's the last time they did win.
Okay, exactly.
Was in RLCS Season X.
And it's been a long time.
They didn't win in RLCS 2021.
But Sizen and Radosin are good.
Listen, and he didn't win with them either. Like, they still didn't win. So, you know, it's not like they were dominating and then he joined a team and they kept winning. They haven't won anything for years. He joins and they win. Like, that's a big difference.
Because Zen is significantly better than Sizen.
Space Station were winning with Typical, then they fell off a little bit, and then Daniel came in and they're not winning. So, like, I think Zen has made more of an impact. You can call his teammates better, but I think, you know, Rattles and Arsenal were, at the time that Daniel joined them, they were still top tier in NA. So you can't just say that Zen's got better teammates. I didn't see Alpha.
I think it's a little different being top tier NA and then being the best.
You do gotta say as well, like, I don't want to bring it up because it's one regional, but this regional, Daniel's ex-teammates got 3rd and 4th, and Daniel got 12th.
So listen, that happens too. That happens. I didn't say who was better.
You can't really call his teammates bad. You're saying like, wait, no, you said
I'm not
Vitality
calling
can't
his teammates
arrow,
bad. I'm
and you
just
said
saying
you don't have an
I'm saying
You
alpha.
said
Alpha's
that
better.
they weren't alpha. You said they weren't alpha, which is indicating that alpha's better.
Alpha is
But,
better.
I don't know. Alpha won less events. Like he didn't win since our LCS season X. Like when Space Station were winning with Sipical.
Wins is a team. All I'm saying is Wins is team dependent. Wins is a team dependent. I thought they both played pretty exceptional.
I think the better comparison is who's got a better debut is Zen and Seikoo.
Yeah.
Oh, Seikoo.
That's the only discussion.
Seikoo was a big old meaty carry on that big old endpoint backpack.
You had a front row seat to that.
Full of bricks, and that man sprinted up mountains. Like, it was unbelievable what he achieved.
Seikoo.
I remember look back at what Seikoo actually did for its first turn. I've got such a bad memory for all of this.
They beat BDS
you
in
guys
the
just
final.
remember this stuff.
Yeah, they beat BDS 4-3, I think.
How do you remember these things?
I don't know.
It's just
I don't know.
ridiculous.
We were talking about a boot camp, so.
Fair. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So the full EU regional event won, 2-0 BDS. They came first. Then it was a cheeky 9th to 11th. Then they went back to first again. Love that for endpoint. Unreal. I mean, I feel like Seikoo had not nearly as good teammates, and so on an individual basis, he had the better debut than Zen.
Oh no.
Full
Relating
that.
waves in chat right now. You can't say that, Stumpy.
I mean, I lied. Relating
He
waves,
called you a
actually,
brick.
I
He
think
called you a
you
brick.
carried. You had the best debut.
You call Wave a brick?
He called it. He said he's a bag of bricks.
The man,
Oh,
who made like
whoa,
8 out of 9
whoa,
lands or
come
5 out of 6
on,
lands or
come
whatever.
on.
However many lands Wave is not a brick,
Goodness sake.
bro. Wave is not a brick, bro.
That's what Stumpy was saying. That's what Stumpy was saying.
Endpoint wasn't a bad team. They're not as good as Vitality. Endpoint wasn't a bad team, but Seikoo individually, Seikoo did what people thought Zen would just automatically come in and do. If that makes sense. Zen won,
Yeah.
but Zen won in a different style.
But they did lose a series. They did lose a
I
series. in
mean,
his
yeah,
debut,
but
so
Vitality's a better
I didn't-
team.
I didn't see Zen losing a series. That's
You
all I'm
can't.
saying.
That's a team thing. He's got great players. He's got one of the best in his game. He's gonna be
Wait,
one of the best
Johnny, are
in
you
the game.
saying Zen had a better debut than Seikoo?
I think it's unclear. I don't think it's
Unclear?
clear.
Unclear? Nah, the glazing, bro. This is going crazy. This is crazy, bro.
Listen, I know Seikoo's your teammate and you got to back your boy, but listen, I don't
I'm
think it's
not
clear.
backing my boy. Look what everyone else is saying. This isn't me backing him. This is everyone backing him.
I don't think it's as clear. I mean, it shouldn't just be Seikoo, no conversation needed.
Hey, there's no
Like,
conversation.
there's
That's the greatest
definitely- I
debut
think
of all
there's definitely
time.
a
That's the
conversation.
greatest debut of all time.
Nah, I'll tell you why. Because Seikoo had absolutely zero pressure on him. No one expected him to do anything. No one was talking about him. Like they were just dark horse run, and yeah, they turned out to be really, really good. Zen had everyone talking about him. He had all the expectation. And as you would all agree, it is much harder to perform. It is much harder to perform at your best when there's all that pressure on you. And it's not just like short-term pressure, discussed over a period of months. Seikoo had none of that. So I think it shouldn't just be like, Seikoo, obviously. Because Zen had so much pressure on him. And how are you supposed to, like,
I agree.
evaluate that?
But
Okay, but then Zen.
if you wanted to go into a factor, like, it, based, like, objectively, no, subjectively even, objectively, Seikoo was better.
Objectively.
He was
But
better.
I'm telling you, no, I'm just saying it shouldn't be like, okay, clearly Seikoo's better because we cannot. How are we supposed to evaluate, how difficult it is to perform under the pressure Zen
I need
was
the statistical
under?
stats of Seikoo's first regional. I need them.
Direct. Where's Direct?
Direct.
We need him.
Direct. I need those stats.
Direct.
Seikoo's first regional.
Listen,
That
V1
man was different. That man was
Listen,
different, Johnny.
After V1 flopped, I was one of the first people to say you shouldn't judge them too much on that. They had a lot of pressure on them. I'm very consistent with this. Like, I don't think you should jump to conclusions about teams that flop early with a ton of pressure to deliver, like V1 did. But Vitality had all that pressure and more, and they succeeded. Zen had probably the most pressure we've seen in years on a player, and he still succeeded. Still, best player on the pitch in the grand final. So for me, that's like a different level. I mean, that he was, obviously. What do you want to look at, stats, or just like you want to use your eye test that you like to use? I mean,
I
you
always
could
use
do
the eye
either.
test. I use eye test plus stats. Sometimes. Oh my God! Matter of fact, speaking of stats, Direct already pulled the numbers. All right, so wait, can we get that graphic of Zen back up, please? Zen, Rado, and Alpha, please. Can we get that graphic back up, Ben? Throw it back up. Throw it back up. I need
me
the
a
people to
second.
see the numbers. Cause we're gonna do numbers and then we're gonna do the eye test.
Oh,
as
this
well.
is crazy. I've just seen
Alright.
those stats. That is
all right.
insane.
Wait, can we get that graphic back up, Ben? Is that
Wait,
possible?
is that across the regional?
That's
as well?
across the
Seikoo's
region.
first
That's
regional.
across the regional. All right, so let's compare. Let's compare. Alrighty, so all right, it doesn't show score per game, but just assume, we're just gonna assume Seikoo has higher. So Seikoo 423.45 score per game, goals per game 1.05, saves 1.55, rating. Where's the rating, guy? I need the rating direct. Where's the octane
rating?
Where's the octane? Assist 0.38.
What was his first event?
Goal participation 73.78%.
Nah. The rating, guys. We've got the rating.
1.10 rating. And Johnny,
guys,
you
listen.
mean to tell me he played better?
Okay, well, let me tell you something. Those stats are worse than Monkey Moon just put up this last weekend. Is Monkey Moon better than Seikoo?
Monkey
Because he
Moon's a
put up more
tapping merchant, bro.
stats?
He's a tapping merchant. It doesn't
he's
count.
not.
Monkey Moon's a tapping merchant. This guy's a stat padder, bro. It doesn't count.
Like, Monkey Moon this
count.
past weekend had a 1.239 rating. Does that mean he's better than Seikoo's 1.150? Like, come on. You can't just, like,
1.05
you can't just show
goals per
me
game.
that one number's bigger than another and say, there's
Johnny.
like complete
Was Monkey Moon's
proof.
debut this
What
weekend?
are you talking about?
Was that his debut? Was that Monkey Moon's debut?
What has that got to do with this?
That
Well,
we're
the
talking
debut.
about
That's the whole
debuts.
argument. That's the
I'm just
whole
telling you,
argument.
I'm just telling you, Monkey Moon this weekend was worse than Seikoo in his debut, but Monkey Moon had better stats. You can't just look at the numbers and
Okay,
say,
well, thank
this guy
God this was
better.
Monkey Moon's first regional then. Let's go, guys. Monkey Moon wins the debate. Fantastic stuff.
Was Monkey Moon better this weekend than Seikoo in his first regional? No, he wasn't. He had better numbers though. You shouldn't only look at numbers. You have to look at what they're
We're not
actually
looking at
doing on the
numbers.
pitch.
eye
Seikoo
test. Let's get the eye
carried
test
Metzer and
involved.
Wade.
We're literally
To a
looking
win.
at numbers. Numbers is all that's on the screen right now.
Johnny,
of course, we're
Johnny,
looking at
the numbers
numbers.
off the screen.
Johnny, I think
That's all we're looking at.
this is the core question. This is the core question. Okay, I understand. I'm giving you your pressure. Your pressure on Vitality. I'm pressure on Vitality. Pressure on Zen. Most hyped up players since Scrub. I'll give you all that. Going into the regional though, Vitality is the core team. Came fresh off a major. Had one of the best players in the game. Had Radosin, who's really good, a really good player as well, and was a team that if there's betting odds in Rocket League, they would have been somewhere in the mix for winning the regional. Going into the regional for Endpoint, not a single person was expecting Endpoint to win the regional. Maybe
But
outside of
why is
Stumpy, who
that?
was on the team stream.
Why is that a good thing though? Like that's
Because
obviously.
Don't speak for me.
Because that means that regardless of Seikoo's debut, you got Wave and Metza who have pedigree, who have been established, and nobody was picking them to win. And that young man from France came on the squad, dropped 423, a goal per game, and said, "I'm gonna win it," and he did.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that those stats are not like ridiculous. Those stats are very similar to like a top 5 player in any event. Like they're nothing like otherworldly. They're very good. Like Seikoo stats in his first regional are very good, but they're not like checkmate stats. Like they're very much something you'll see every regional from like 3 or 4 players.
You're forgetting the eye
Seikoo's one of
test.
them.
There's a very few players since the iteration of this open era where I have seen somebody jump up in the sky and I've seen fear in everybody's eyes, fear in everybody's car language. Seikoo's one of them. That man was double touching negative angle.
He was, but I'm just saying it shouldn't be just like, oh, there's no discussion needed. Seikoo by far. Like, and I don't know, you all like suddenly had a moment. It looked like you had a realization moment when I said like actually Seikoo had no pressure on him. Like that's really all there is to it. Like he had no pressure on him, and it's much easier to perform when you have no pressure on you, nobody talking about you.
Understand?
You completely discrediting Seikoo's first regional by saying...
No, I'm just saying that they're both like great in their own way. It's not like one of them is just clear of the other. I think they're both great in their own way. I don't think it should be such an insult for me to say actually Seikoo had a Cinderella run, an underdog story run, I should say, and that is that what Zen did is a different kind of impressive. We can't really evaluate it. It's just like a fact, the pressure was on Zen to perform. It wasn't on Seikoo. That's really it's simple. That's all there is to it.
Understandable. Understand. I can see. I can see somebody picking Zen. I think it's a little out there, but I can see it. But Seikoo,
and no one's allowed to criticize me on using this logic, and then also in the future say, give that guy a break. He had a lot of pressure on him. I don't want to hear anybody saying that. You got to give this guy some time.
you
he
don't
was
give
under
people
pressure.
breaks. No, we're just talking about the best individual. We're about the best debut, taking in all the factors. You want to talk about pressure and all that? That's a whole bunch of variables that go into the best debut. Seikoo clear. Seikoo clear. That's just my opinion. That's Rod's opinion.
All right, Dabab.
I
We've
don't think it's
concluded
clear.
Seikoo's.
That's right.
We've concluded Seikoo's better. Let's move on. Let's get on to the next topic.
Let's go to the next topic. SPLASHICO delivers. We're going to talk about Team Liquid reverse sweeping Moist. And EU Spring Open. Listen, you want to talk about this for so long, I'm not going to stop you, okay? Now, let's look at, again, Liquid versus Moist highlights here. SPLASHICO. Like, who do I feel like talking about SPLASHICO? Stumpy, you said, I'm going to go with you first. How did you feel about SPLASHICO?
Oh, Liquid. Oh, Liquid. They made me smile more times than I could count this entire weekend. There was the absolutely horrifying start to that series versus Moist. You know, they went down by those 3 and I want to basically echo what I was saying on the entire show as well. Atto started just as the player that did not finish that series. He was not nearly the level. He was having issues. He was literally scoring own goals and having own saves as well. And then he just turned it on to a level where I think you couldn't even compare the starting and end point of him in that series. Moist, I feel for them because I don't think that there were too many times where they were thinking, you know, okay, we need to do one more and then we win the series out. I think Liquid, they just completely turned it on. It was a different side that we saw from them. The only issues I would say is that we saw a few moments where you could see the pressure getting to Moist, and that was a problem for them, where they just clearly weren't dealing with it. Various misses towards if they were having like backboard saves, or Cash a couple of times shooting just wide, because he was clearly quite nervous as well. There were just a few issues towards the end of that series, but Liquid absolutely turned it on. They were the difference maker over Moist throwing it by any means.
Yeah, I was really impressed with what I saw from both teams. Obviously, we know Liquid got to the grand finals this weekend. What were your thoughts on the new Moist roster, Johnny?
I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. I'm really happy as well because I was hoping that they would do well. You know, I think Juicy was... I mean, we talk about pressure. He was one of the players under the most pressure because, you know, he had to fill some pretty big shoes that were left vacant after when he joined. But, yeah, Cash... He's also another player who's like underachieved compared to how good he is. So I was worried about the team. I was definitely worried that they, you know, would have a nervous beginning and just bomb out the tournament, and then it would be the end of their split. But they made a top 6 in their first run in, you know, an incredibly stacked event. So yeah, I think I'm loving what I'm seeing from Moist. I think that they're back. I think they're going to be a top 5 team. I think they're going to the major.
Do you agree, Rise? You played.
I think they're going to the major. I think they're one of the best teams in scrims. That we scrim at least, that like we have trouble against. I think the problem they have is the nerves. I think they can choke in big moments. I think obviously Juicy's a new player, so that's kind of normal. I'm not sure about Cash. Like, I think Cash is a super talented, super good player, but I do think pressure can get to him. So that's the only.
Got a really unfortunate vibe with that as well, Rise.
Yeah,
I agree that he does that a few times. He did it on Quadrant as well when they were trying to do the tiebreaker to then get to the previous major. They had to win one series. Yes, G1 were on a bit of a tear, but like Quadrant really could have and probably should have won that in a lot of aspects. They only had to win the one series to do so as well. I believe that they choked a bit to then get into that tiebreaker too, from what I remember. They just needed to win like one series and then they just couldn't get it out. I think it's a team that has probably going to struggle with mentality a lot more in those high pressure situations. I feel like you could tell, especially in game 7. I think the first 3 games that Liquid won, so games 4, 5, and 6, I think that was all Liquid. I think that was them putting on the pressure. I think that they turned it around. I think that was a really big push from the team that was behind and thinking, well, we've got nothing to lose now, let's just go crazy. Especially when they got like 7-3 in one of the games as well. And then I think the final game, that is then where Moist did probably throw it more than anything, where a 1 goal went in and you're like, it's over. I couldn't see them getting back into it, unfortunately.
They started playing to not lose instead of playing to win.
Yeah,
you could tell it got into their head that they were 3-0 up and they were like, we can't lose from here.
They were taking very safe shots. Like I remember it was me and CJ casting that one, and there was like a couple of chances where they could have shot it, as Cash was doing earlier in that series, absolutely smashing it top corners, proper cannoning it wherever he wanted to, and it would just find its way in. And then all of a sudden, it's a safe shot towards the middle, and it's a bit like, oh no, you just have a bit more ambition and just stick with what you would do in any other situation and shoot it for the sides or behind them, just make it more awkward. But yeah, I think those high pressure situations will get to Moist. I also agree. I think they are a top 5 team. I think they will make it to the major as well.
Bates, final thoughts on this before we move on?
Great teams. Moist threw that one. Should have won. They'll both be at the major. Bracket dependent. They're both top 5 teams, but it's all bracket dependent. So
we're talking about top 5 teams. One of the teams that did go to the major that might be in danger is Oxygen. Oxygen, as you know, don't have Rise anymore. They have EXO finished top 12. They fought a Hogan mode. What are your thoughts on that, Rise?
I see what you're trying to do there, DeBabarin. I see what you're fishing for. Look, it is what it is. bad results happen, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Thoughts from the rest of the panel. Johnny, how do you feel about this?
That's the quickest segment in first touch history.
Listen, they lost to some good teams. I think it's not over for them yet. You know, Oxygen lost to BDS, of course. BDS, then went on to beat Tundra, Moist, and Karmine Corp. So that's obviously very, very impressive. I don't think Oxygen should be too sad about that one. And Hogan Mode are, they're their #1 team right now. Everybody's gunning for them because they're the team to beat worldwide. They're #1 on every power ranking, bro. So yeah, I don't think that's a shameful loss either. And jokes aside, Hogan Mode are actually a really good team, and they caught Oxygen in round 1 there. So they need to get a top 4 next time probably to save their split. It's going to be really difficult. But I think they've definitely got the potential. They've got the potential.
I don't want them to now have that thought in their heads of, oh, look what we can do. We can get that top 6. We can work our way into these positions, and then they throw it. That would be really disappointing. They just need to go back into it and be like, not meme it and be like, oh guys, come on, we're going to win this, but literally have that kind of ambition and think, yeah, we can do really well again, but let's not only think of that thing. Let's not just focus on where we got to last time. Treat it as its own individual regional because they are a sick team. I think they're probably going to be the biggest threat to that top 5 out of the teams that we've got,
Oxygen.
especially for Hogan Mode, and Oxygen. If they obviously pick it up again, Hogan Mode, PSG Tundra as well. I think are still a really good threat, to be honest.
Funny, mate.
What about G1?
I think G1 can be, but
they're in the mix.
They are in the mix, but I feel like I've got PSG Tundra over them at the moment, seeing as G1 also just did not do well at the major whatsoever. They were pretty disappointing. So, yeah, I think PSG Tundra have got a decent chance there. But they've also got that whole, they've just been picked up by an org, and then they, hopefully, they're not going to have that load of pressure come on them, which you've seen from many, many unsigned teams in the past where they do really well, org picks them up, German Amigas have been killing it for a while, and then all of a sudden, org gets them, and then they flop. I'd hate to see that.
Man,
Thoughts on that, bitch?
I think Oxygen, man. I love my boy Archie. So
there's a book coming.
Huh?
I thought there was a book coming. Sorry, I thought I was in here. I love my boy Archie,
but he's rubbish, isn't he?
Yeah, the butt was coming. Here it is. The butt is. I don't know if they can make the major. I'm not seeing it, man. I'm not seeing it. I think EU got a little more stacked. I think with our big rise right there, it's gonna be a little more tough for them. And it's sad though. I think Archie's just really, really, really good at this game. So. I think it's gonna be hard. They got an outside chance looking in, but I mean, going off what Johnny said though, one of the top 4 could not make top 6. You said, Johnny, based off the bracket.
Yeah, they're all on the same side of the bracket. So unless they get upset in round 1, because round 1 when you lose, you stay on the same side of the bracket in lowers. Round 2 when you lose, you flip to the other side of the bracket. So if the 4 big teams on that bottom side of the bracket, the projected bracket, if they don't all want to run into each other, they need to make sure that some of them lose in round 1, some of them lose in round 2. Then easy, you're all on different sides of the bracket.
Which of course they would never do. They would never talk to each other to do that. Of course, Johnny.
It would be suicide to intentionally lose round 1 in Swiss.
Exactly.
In the double limit, it would be suicide to intentionally lose round 1.
Funny if a team did. They obviously won't. But funny if a team did do that, then they just double lose. That would be very funny.
I don't think any team's gonna do that one. But I mean, Oxygen's got outside chance looking in. They could probably make it at a 5th spot if other teams start throwing. I don't think it's necessarily. I would say Moist would make the major, but it's not necessarily a lock. PSG Chundra's gonna be in there. You never know. Hogan Mode. They might not be a one regional pony. They might actually be a solid team. G1 might bounce back. So, but I do think it's a little tougher, and they're not locked. And if I had to, I had to hedge on my bets. They're not gonna be at the major.
Can I just ask that we all live in this moment where there's a possibility that Hogan Mode make the major? Before we move on, before we go to Regional 2, can we just exist in this moment where there is a possibility that we see Hogan Mode at the Spring Major?
If we get Hogan Mode at the Spring Major, then we need a Johnny and Stumpy. We need a Johnny and Stumpy cast. Johnny and Stumpy cast at the Spring Major in the Scottish Actions.
Right, we are breaking the pairings. We're getting on that, all right? We'll hop in.
Well, we would have to, because Shogun Mode hates when we do the accent.
The bro.
Shogun hates the bro, scrub killer accent, so we try and keep it, a little bit low-key when he's around.
Get Joyo on the mic, too.
Shogun Mode. Yeah, Joy is phenomenal when he's casting Hogan mode. I hope he's in their next qualifier run. I'm going to be watching.
That'll definitely be fun to see.
Let's get the only TriCast of the major. Me, Johnny, Joyo for the Hogan mode.
There you go. I'd be down for it personally. To answer the question, can Oxygen survive springs without Raz? I think we'll see Oxygen again at the World Championship wildcard. They're not doing anything in the spring split. Let's move on to first touch bracket here.
Brutal.
I mean, look, it is what it is. Look, so this one is just last week. Me, Roll Diz, and the Chiefs did a bracket prediction for this last regional event. Can we just show the bracket real quick? Because my God, when great minds come together, sometimes things just work. Look at that. We got there.
You missed Hogan mode.
I mean, I did miss Hogan mode. That was the only thing that we didn't see. We should have had some European.
I mean, in
help here.
fairness, I feel like it's harsh to judge you based on not picking Hogan mode. Like, fair, I'm not going to hold that against you guys.
But you know, we had the upper bracket final. We had both the semifinals. I think we got the lower one as well. But basically,
you had Vitality Liquid the other way around.
Yeah, that was the only thing. That was the only thing. I think I voted Vitality, but I was outvoted.
See, I would be impressed, except that Cole, or I should call him Oracle, actually predicted the entire bracket. You got a perfect score.
Don't y'all change it up every single day though? Like, so after don't y'all do it day by day?
Well, we have to wait until the results are in to know what matchups
so that's
we're
a
actually predicting.
Easier.
I don't know. He predicted a perfect bracket, so I'll give it to him.
I would say it is easier, like than going completely from the start. In fairness, but he also got it fully right.
That's right.
That
it's still unbelievable. He got 4 points this week.
There were upsets in the top.
He got 14 points.
Don't worry. We're gonna have you guys predict the NA one at the end of the show if we get there. Knowing how y'all talk, I don't even know if we're gonna do it. Yeah. Let's go on to our next topic. Pseudo NA. NA fans voiced their concerns about Boston. 2 of the top teams in NA aren't from NA. Let's discuss. Stumpy, let's start with you. I mean, of course, everyone talks about GG, whether they're NA team or not. Then you have complexity coming in on that. Like, how do you feel about just?
Aren't you gonna provide the backdrop behind the question?
All right, Bates, provide the backdrop behind the question.
No, I don't want to do that. That's you.
Well, yeah, you can't complain to me and then not provide the backdrop behind the question.
I thought we were going quick. Stop being an old married couple and just wanted you to do it.
Yeah. All right. So there was a Reddit post that ended up happening over 4 days ago. Anyone else thinking about attending the major in Boston, but kind of put off by the lack of teams in North America? It is from user The Other Side, who's SSG fan. He said, I totally understand that these teams want to go to where the prize pools are the biggest and have the best opportunity possible. But as a North American fan, I'd be going to the event to see teams I like from North America. At this point, though, it only seems like 2 or 3 are actually going to be NA teams with Gen G and Complexity at the top.
I saw there was a big conversation in the talent Discord about this that I unfortunately was busy during, and I didn't even read most of it. But my general thought on it was, I don't understand that, because I see Gen G as very much a North American team. I see Complexity as very much a North American team with South American fans, obviously, and that big push, as does Fury, etc. But I feel like I'm so genuinely out of thinking, I'm only going to go to the major to watch my region compete. I'm not going to a major to watch European teams. I'm going to the major to watch all of the teams there. I'm supporting, yes, 1 or 2 teams when I am there. Like Liquid, I generally support more. But when I'm at these events, even when I was a fan, watching them, I was thinking, I don't care really who wins. I just want to have the good storylines, no matter who it ends up being. I think I'm just so out of this person's mindset where he's thinking, or they're thinking rather, the top 2 teams aren't North America. Why do you care? Why does that impact you at all?
No, I could see it though if you think about being able to interact with the teams themselves, because if in Gen G's case it's easy because they all speak English, so the fans can interact with them. Whereas for Complexity, I think only CRR speaks good English, which is no fault of. I'm not trying to say it's any fault of Razebull and AJG, by the way. If you don't like the fact that there's players in NA who didn't originate from NA, then you can't hate them for moving. You got to hate the system for making it possible in the first place. But the point still stands that the fans might feel more disconnected from players that they can't communicate with, or read the tweets of without Google Translate, or understand an interview of because interviews and content pieces and all these other things, that's how fans really get to know a team and get to know players and actually relate to players and start to root for them. and you can't do that with a language barrier as easily. So that's the thing I do, understand.
But Johnny, we have Vitality, we have Karmine Corp, we have 2 members of BDS who all tweet in French or Spanish or whatever it ends up being. Like, that doesn't impact my love for Vitality at all. That doesn't impact my love for Karmine Corp or two-thirds of BDS.
See that.
Like,
Yeah, I totally see that. But I think
we have that in Europe.
I think there is still a point though. Like in Europe, that's an expectation that there will be French teams, Spanish teams, German teams, UK teams, and a bunch of others. But in North America, I think the fans have just become used to just being able to support 5 teams. Now they're like, oh, do I really want to go if it's I think they're probably like looking ahead.
But you can still
like,
support
what if
5 teams.
But in theory, if there were 5 teams, this is a just a ridiculous hypothetical that will not happen. But if there were 5 Brazilian teams next season, all moved to NA, took all the major spots, would NA fans really want to be like, okay, let me go support my NA teams? Well, probably not. They'd rather
not
it was
showing up.
They'd rather it be like NA teams. Yeah, they wouldn't go. They wouldn't go, but it wouldn't just be because like they're angry that somebody came and took their qualification spots, because they can't actually like interact with that team, interact with those players, which is, I think, fair.
I personally don't see it at all, but Bates, I saw you having a big conversation in the Discord about it. What was your stance on the current situation, not the hypothetical?
Oh, I can see I can see and understand the frustration. I can see that. Not everybody is a general fan of Rocket League, Rocket League like you are, Stumpy. I think a lot of people really aren't fans of Rocket League like that. They're really fans of specific players and specific big teams, and a lot of people want to go to see SSG, NRG, and the likes, and that's just becoming very, very. Those are the big American. Those are big American content creators. All in those teams are all really great, and those spots are being taken away. Not taken away. Those spots, because those teams are better. Those teams are just simply better, but people are coming over, moving and taking those spots away. And as if you're a fan of like only like 2 teams and they're just not there, why should I go? And then when they're all coming over to North America, and just and it seems like if I was Sam team, if I was better, I would move over to North America too. So bigger contract, bigger security, and everything else in between. From a business side of things, Sam team moves over, no problem in that. But I just think that in terms of North American fan perspective, I think it does affect the NA fandom.
I understand it.
And I also think it affects viewership in a way too. I don't know if anybody's done a case study on it.
Yeah.
But
The viewership that Achilles posted.
I think it affects viewership. The fact that NRG, NRG isn't good enough to make grand finals right now. We know that. But you take away Complexity, Furia, and Gen G, NRG, ideally, unless they continue to be mid, ideally they would still be getting like top 5s.
You think if you remove... I appreciate it's like a side point, but you think if you remove Gen G, Complexity and Furia, that opens up NRG to making top 5?
It sure does, because that's significant.
You think?
There's a significant chance to make the major and everything in between.
They would have made the major.
They would have made the major.
They would have.
Really? Yes. So
they barely made the regional.
Fair enough.
They barely did make the regional. But I
mean, this one, but they would have made. They would have made fall major. Split. They would have made it.
Oh, the fall major. No. Okay.
Yeah, they would have made it.
And winter.
And
or
winter,
just fall?
I think.
I can't remember winter. Were they 7th place? They would have had to be top 7 in the winter.
They're close enough. And then it just those matchups.
And like
that matters. And then NA used to get a lot of viewership. Now granted, I don't think NA's ever gonna be able to compete with EU now, because EU's got the viewer parties and everything that's in between. Big French back and Kometo and everybody. But NA used to just get a lot of people watching on the stream itself, on this stream. And now that's not necessarily the case. I think that's because fans aren't like associated with these teams that are coming in. And the players that are coming in. So I think that's also another thing. I can see it. If I'm a fan of certain teams, I think it starts getting to that League of Legends style NA potentially, where barely anybody from NA, barely anybody playing NA is from NA, and I think that becomes a problem at some point. So it's an interesting conversation. I can see it.
I think it's interesting. Yeah, I think I don't see it from where I'm at, but
you're a fan of Rocket League, though.
But
yeah,
I
that's the
think
thing.
it's-
I know
Yeah.
that I'm like fan of game and then also team sort of as a side thing, and I want to see those teams succeed.
No,
but like,
Stumpy, see, there are more people like T-Bates who are like viciously
That's a shame.
patriotic and want Americans to win. So like, you
I
know,
don't
you have to
think it's
understand that this
patriotic.
is
I
think
like,
it's crazy.
this is a
T-Bates.
rampant
I love
problem.
you.
But we have to cater to them because, you know, they are still Rocket League
Yeah.
fans at the end of the day. But now, jokes aside, I did want to say before moving on, you know, I mentioned complexity there, probably don't have the ease of communication with NA fans that Gen G do. However, CRR has actually got perfect English. I just saw he rated the stream. Hope he had a good stream, CRR. But yeah, you should, if you want to really get to know complexity a bit better, yeah, CRR is a really good one to talk to. Go to his stream and, you know,
I think-
you can interact with him with socials. He's got perfect English.
I think my shout would be if there are fans like that are worried about, you know, the Gen G are there, the complexity they're taking, of course, earning these spots in North America. I'd urge those fans to then look at those teams and then see who they can also support. Think, okay, my main team is NRG, SSG, whatever it ends up being. But then also, I love Gen G. Or also, okay, it's CRR, like after
you're a
what
plastic
Johnny's
if you do
advice,
that.
going to his stream.
You're a plastic.
You say you're a plastic. Actually, this brings me to a great point. Speaking of which,
Yeah, I thought you might talk
Rise-
after we talk about plastics, Dazarin. We all know what you did. We all know what you
it's
did,
really
Dazarin.
crazy. It's really crazy. Can we go to
No,
our
go on,
next
go on,
topic,
go on,
please?
go on,
Let's
go
go to
on,
our
go on.
next topic, please. We're talking about
on, my
plastics.
friend.
We talk about team hopping and everything else. Rise, I'm glad that you've gotten a team for every single split. But I want to talk about this tweet right here where you talked about your old team. What team is this?
Masterclass of a
Team-
tweet. That's a
team two?
masterclass of a tweet, baby.
Team two?
That's a good tweet.
That's a top
That's a
top
good
tweet.
It's a good tweet.
That's
It's a good
top
tweet. I already tweeted that tweet. It's
That's
a good
a
one.
It's funny,
brilliant
Dazarin, that
tweet.
you've swapped that around on me. After we all know,
Yeah.
we won't forget what you did, Dazarin. To your boys, to your
The
boys
biggest
over at
plastic
NRG. You know what you did.
What? I didn't do anything to them.
Oh yeah, you jumped shit, mate. You
Dazarin,
jumped shit.
he's sitting at the top of the pyramid, like looking
right.
down at us all. The biggest plastic in the scene.
Listen, I made a business decision, okay? Something the
Business
NRG couldn't
decision.
do.
Wow.
NRG couldn't make a business decision. I did. You should know all about making
You
business
can't
decisions.
talk, Damar. You're so hypocritical.
Tell him,
You
Bates.
can't say
Tell him,
anything.
Bates.
I'm not
Tell him,
hypocritical
Bates.
at
You
all.
are the one person in the community that cannot say a single thing
I
about
can
anybody
say- I
ever
can
being
talk
plastic.
about this.
No, you can't. You can't
Yes,
talk
I
about
can.
it. I mean, you can talk
Why?
about it, but nobody's gonna listen. Nobody's gonna
No,
listen.
just because you're not
No,
gonna listen, you're the same person that comes on this show talking about I'm unbiased or wearing G2 merch.
I have been
Like, stop
consistent
talking.
since day one of this show. I have never switched, and I don't ever plan on switching. That's the difference
happy
between
for
you
you.
and me. That's the difference between you and me.
Congrats. You want a cookie? I'm still winning. I don't care.
Oh yeah, you're still winning, all right. Congratulations. Rise is still winning too, so you can't come for Rise. You can't come for Rise.
I can't come for Rise, but Rise doing the exact same thing I did, so I don't even know. Now, listen, there was a lot of Twitter conversation that was going on. Obviously, we saw the Rise tweet. You know, we saw it here mentioned. I think we can all agree that was a good tweet.
That was
respect
pretty
the
funny.
tweet.
I love
that
that
was
Bang
tweet.
into
I
it.
love
I'm
the
Bryce, but
tweet.
you said you
Yeah.
had it in the bookmarks as well, right?
It was in the book. I could show it again. Let me show it again.
He's
Let me
still
show
got it.
them.
I'm
Just
so
in
happy
case.
that I
It's
got
still
to
in the
interview you off that
bookmarks.
series, Rise, as well, when we chatted about that lovely tweet.
Do you see it there?
No, we
Look at
can't.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, lift it up a
little
bit.
A little
Lift it,
bit.
lift
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left
There you
there
go.
it
You're
is.
good. You're good.
There you go.
He's
Now
got
put
it,
it back down.
There you go.
All good, Bates. Sorry, mate.
Appreciate you, bro.
Rise was the only person. I feel like that was the spark that started a lot more
Yeah.
after that because let's pull
Absolute
up
shock.
the Atal tweet. Atal replying
This
to
is so funny. I don't
they go to
believe it.
Matera. Now, but I was trying hard to scrims, but sometimes you guys just peeked on us and destroyed us. Go ahead, Johnny.
Wait, I was going to say, so this is in response to Atto inserting himself in the conversation. So Atto replied to Rise's tweet saying, yeah, let's all pile on oxygen. Maybe they shouldn't be trolling scrims. Then Matera says, what are you talking about? You're the #1 scrim troll. And then we had the engagement you're seeing on your screen. Which,
You must
Oh,
spend
no.
a lot of the time in a weekday.
For the man
That's
who
incredible.
who doesn't do that many interviews in English, he's absolutely cracked up some corkers this last week on Twitter.
amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, Atto was getting roasted by everybody. 'Cause, yeah, they kind of exposed themselves. Shame for Atto.
I mean, he put himself in the middle of the conversation, and everyone just
Yeah.
turned at him,
He
and then
did.
just like all fired.
It's one of those things where like you see some dude laughing in a corner, you're like, why are you laughing? And you
Yeah.
just start going in on
Gets turned on him.
Right, I know you ain't laughing. He wasn't the only person who was also sparking a lot of talk on the Twitter debate. Not necessarily about scrim results, but this kind of leads us into kind of good things going forward. Unless anybody had anything else to say about like kind of the Twitter talk. But
I
this
loved all
one-
the Twitter talk.
Okay, so
I
while
absolutely
Jory
loved
is
it.
here, you can still see on Jory's Twitter, he took it personally because I think, obviously still a bit sore from the loss, which is absolutely fair.
Understandable.
No one wants to go out on day one. So he read into Rise's tweet as a personal, kicking them while they're down tweet at the Oxygen players, which it obviously wasn't. He was taking a jab at the org with the exact same text they'd used, which, he had bookmarked for the occasion.
Because Bro got dropped in the replies, which
But
is
yeah,
harsh.
of course, then Oxygen's Jory's and Rise then did, of course, go on to leak some potential discussions that were happening about teams.
You love hitting them fingers, bro. Them fingers be working.
Yeah, so
But I
it
saw
was
that, and
just
that's, I don't know. It's
tweets were
unnecessary.
flying around everywhere. There was accusations flying around everywhere. We had, Mark by 8 throwing shade at G1. You had Atomic and Acronic going at each other. That's
Mark
EU
was one,
Atomic,
by the way,
of
of the
course.
best tweets
Yeah, that was
we've
cold.
seen.
That was a cold
Mark's
tweet.
tweet was so cold.
What was Mark's tweet again?
So somebody was asking, where's the Mike Wazowski tweet? Because last time that Mark got benched by
Oh,
BDS,
yeah, he said
and then
G1's
they
not
lost.
relevant. Is that what he said?
Well, yeah, he said that when he did that to BDS, it's because the result was unexpected. He was kind of like, what? Why? Okay. So he thought he'd, tweet out Mike Wazowski. But he says this was an expected result, so the tweet didn't apply, which is... That's really, really cool.
He said,
for Mark.
I took the meme for BDS last year because they did an unexpected result. This was not an unexpected result, which is just so cold.
Wow. Brutal.
It's a whole lot of yapping on the timeline.
And listen,
man.
I
And
like
you had
it, baby.
Acronic and
I
Atomic
love
as
it.
well, beefing.
Yeah, Chronica and Atomic were beefing. Atomic just tweeted out, don't know what to do differently, which is a pretty common tweet to see from pros after a loss in Rocket League. Chronic replied with some advice, maybe don't benchmark. Which
Yeah, don't drop
I thought
players
was-
after every split then. And it's
that
like,
was very surprising to see, but maybe he's onto something in the short term. We'll have to see how G1 go for the rest of the split.
Listen,
I love these tweets, by the way. I
about it.
like that it's also all about Rocket League. No one took it too far. No one was mean. No one was weirdly personal. Everyone kept it in Rocket League. They kept it. There was, the occasional bit of realness with Jory's and Rise especially. But it gave us storylines to talk about on the day. And ultimately, this entertainment product that is the RLCS. It gave us everybody, a lot of the fans, stuff to talk about midweek as well, for this entire week so far. Yeah, it gives so much context. Now there's actual battles happening, especially in Europe. And Rise also trying to drag G2 into it, by the way.
Yeah, look, Chicago was
which I
yapping a bit
loved.
too much. I had to talk about that Aqua to G2 transfer that almost happened.
Uh-oh.
Well, we want to see NA get involved. I mean, NA is always silent on their timeline because they're afraid to talk trash in case it backfires. But where's the fun in that? Just come on, give us something, NA.
Yeah.
We want to see tweets
Get
after Regional
spicy.
2 day one.
I
Well,
miss
they
NA
should have
trash
moved to
talk,
NA
man.
and improved their Twitter game.
So,
Wait,
yeah,
whoa,
maybe.
NA trash talk used to be significantly better. Ah,
Oh,
used to
no,
be.
here we go. Bates is
When?
Bates is
Back in
glazing
the
got NA
golden
Twitter
days,
as
mate.
well,
Back
bro.
when-
Back in the golden days.
Back in the days of should have been 3-0. What a
Yeah.
banger. Oh my god. Clapped.
GG's, I guess.
Clapped.
I mean,
Nah,
to be
what
fair,
tweets are you talking about?
like
NA?
Redos,
talk.
Redos used to run the Twitter scene.
Oh, you mean like Rettles, Nully?
Rettles was,
Red-
Rettles was the
Red-
soul. He was
Redos,
alone.
calm.
he was alone.
Nah,
Rettles was alone though. He
needed
was
help.
very alone.
In fairness,
It
I
didn't
would also
matter.
say, though, that Rise is the one who is not alone. But he's very
Rise
much at the
carries
top
EU.
of the...
He starts it.
I started,
No,
but then everyone
he's at least
piles in.
everybody
He's at
joins
least-
no one else
he-
starts it,
he's- Rise is a pyramid, whereas Rettles was a totem pole. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, no, I agree. That's facts. I do it,
Yeah.
and then people happily join in because they're not the only ones. And then but in America it was just Rolls. That's it.
I love that. I need more of it. I like that trash talk. I like seeing that. I need people to start saying that I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you no matter what you do, stuff like that, so I can have more things to talk about. That's what I need to have. I need it to elevate to that level, and then I'll be good to go. And more of that, right? Keep yapping.
Keep yapping. We'll see it. We'll be keeping eyes here on the Twitter, so make sure to keep it locked in. Follow everybody here on Twitter if you want to keep up with the spice too. Let's go to NA versus EU. And it asks the question that we've been talking about pretty much for the last hour, or almost an hour. Which region has the strongest top four? The stronger top four. Let's pull up the Rizzo tweet. Rizzo, listen, you do a great job of farming. I tell you that. You should be a farmer when you're done, because my goodness, you really raked it in here. After watching the EU RLCS this weekend, NA does not even look close to this level. Top team, bubble team, average, doesn't matter. There is a visible gap. I've never seen Rizzo tweet like that in his life, but my goodness, he knew how to get those impressions when he got them. That being said, we got to answer the question here on the show right now. which region has the stronger top 4? Are we agreeing with Rizzo's tweet right here, right now?
Sorry to cut you off at this point, but how long do we have left on the show?
We got about like 20 minutes.
I think we can end it now, boys. I think it could be.
The answer is
I
yes.
don't even think this is a debate. What's the next topic?
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Get it done.
This
Lock
is
it
done.
in, obviously.
Yes. Rizzo's bang on.
Bates
that you're
is trying to
clear
conjure
by
up some
a
type of
margin.
argument in his head right now. Bates is sat there thinking, how can I make this an argument? But he can't. Not even Bates can make
He's
a debate
about
out of
to
this.
produce-
Might as well
It's
move
done.
on before he even stops
He's
lying.
about
He
to
knows that
produce
NA's done for.
unprecedented levels of copium. Like, lean in, but like you're about to hear something special, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, Bates, try and make it convincing at least.
It
Try and
is
make it at
so
least a bit
clear.
convincing.
This is gonna be good.
What are G2 going to do to Vitality? Let's go.
Yeah, go on. Go on. How many goals are they getting versus Vitality, mate? What's the plan?
not the preemptively waiting for me to say something. Nobody, DeMar didn't even direct the conversation to me.
We don't have to speak. Like we don't. There's no evidence needed.
I
We
mean,
don't need
they're
to
doing my
provide
job
evidence.
for me.
Well,
Did you watch the games?
Well, listen. Let's pump the brakes here. Let's take an analytical approach to this. No bias intended. Analytical approach. Okay. Okay.
Johnny's in.
Okay. So first
ready.
off, Karmine still trumps anybody in NA. That's fine. But after that, give me complexity. Give me complexity. Second best team. Give me complexity. And then after, so look, it's 1-1 right now. I went 1-1. The number 3. Number 3, it's into the conversation. Because people are going to say Vitality, and like, I was hating on FaZe, but I be hating on FaZe because I just like messing around. FaZe had one bad event. Well, I guess they have 2 bad events because they finished 9th, but then it went 1-1 and then finished 2nd. So FaZe not being top 3, top 4 in the world, a little questionable. A little questionable. I think it really comes down to the 4 spot. I think the top 3, you gotta go. Where y'all gotta go? Top 3 in EU is gonna be the 3 teams that finish the top. Liquid. No.
Look at Vitality, Karmine.
That's the top 3?
BDS
Okay, you want to
BDS for 3rd.
Okay, BDS 3rd for you instead of who?
Instead
I mean,
of
I'm just telling you what the results were. I want to hear what you're saying.
Okay,
Like,
so I think it just comes down to the 4 spot. I think EU's 4 might be a little better than NA's 4 right now. So I
disagree with Vitality.
So to answer that question, and EU has the stronger top 4, but not by much. And I think it's very close. Okay. And I think that Rizzo is just a master farmer, like DeMar said. I think it's actually very close. But how
do you explain, Karmine being the best team if they were in NA? If Karmine were in NA, they'd be the best team. But they're in EU, they're the 4th best team. How do you explain this?
They're still the best team in EU.
I'd say, I mean, okay, you can say that. I think there's an argument for them being number 1, but I think Vitality are right there with them. I'd put Vitality 1 right now because we've got limited evidence and we have to go off what we have. But yeah, I think they're the top 2 teams in the world right now. I wouldn't say complexity.
Okay, so then you say FaZe and complexity and Gen G.
I would say Liquid are also ahead of complexity because based on the performance of the major, I was more impressed with Liquid than complexity and FaZe. I thought Liquid were the second, at least just from looking at the games. Liquid looked like the second best team of the major.
I think Liquid were the only team that could beat Karmine Corp.
So I would put
Vitality,
Liquid, and KC all above complexity, who just won NA. BDS is the only team that aren't like automatically above complexity for me. But they look pretty good.
So you
this
have
weekend
4
also.
EU teams in the top 5 in the world?
No, I think BDS, like I said, they're not an automatic inclusion yet. I think you've got to go with complexity above them.
Okay, so you have.
It's unclear. Who do you even put BDS, Gen G, or FaZe next? I mean, it's very close. But yeah, we're talking top 4 in the world. I think 3 EU teams and complexity.
I agree. I think it's Karmine, Vitality, Liquid, Complexity.
And Complexity.
That's my order for top 4.
I'm just gonna let history do it. I'm just gonna let it all play out. That's delusional.
Wait, you wanna wait for Europe to win another
that is delusional.
How is that delusional?
4 of the best teams in the world are on EU. That's not true. That's not true. I think there's been a little bit of an overreaction from this past weekend. There's been an overreaction from this past week. I think everybody needs to slow down.
Overreaction to make it.
I think it's sad, but it is true. It's sad, but it's true that all y'all are just hopping on this. And listen, that's why we have so many Europeans on here, so we can make sure that the show's not biased, so we don't have to listen to people on Twitter saying.
No, so the show's not boring.
No.
Because the NA players are bots.
First of all.
Whoa.
That's why. No. I'm not having it, bro.
Slow your roll there, buddy.
I'm not having it, bro. I'm not having it.
What happened to you? What happened to you in Rotterdam? Who'd you play against? NA. And what
EU
happened to you?
players, my friend.
Yo,
they're
you lost
English.
against North
They're
Americans.
English.
No,
I'm having it.
you lost against North
no,
Americans. No.
no,
Rice,
they're
Rice, tell me this.
English. They're English.
Rice, tell me this.
They're all
Tell me
English.
this. No, Rice, tell me this. Before
I'll tell you this.
Nolan and Jack moved across the pond, were you even concerned about them? They were just average,
Hell
weren't
no.
they? Or-
They didn't have teams. That's why they went to your region. Because they know they'd win. They knew they'd win in your region. That's why they went. Next topic. Let's go. Keep going. Keep going.
But they didn't just win in my region, though. They won the whole entire league. Fall major champions. They took you out.
They beat a team that was already done before the major in the final.
Well, then that just means that EU's also sorry
That
too.
was done.
Because remember, y'all
beat
beat
Secret
Karmine,
in
the best
the
team in
top-
the EU.
Yeah, no, they choked. That was just a choke from them. But then we played Secret in the semis. Bro, to be fair, Bates. Can we get a round of applause for Bates? He's managed to turn the most non-debate thing ever. Like, there's no contention into a debate. You're going to be a good lawyer one day, Bates. You will be a good lawyer. I want you on my side if I'm entering a legal dispute.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would.
I guess all I'm saying is it's close, and I think that it's only contention of 4.
Bates.
I would say
It's not close.
I think it is. I think 1 to Karmine, and then after that it becomes iffy. But I will say the 4th best in EU is gonna be better than the 4th best in NA. But the top 3 in NA could easily all be better than the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in EU. That's just facts that matter. It's close.
Okay. Let's move on to first touch top 10 here. We have like 15 minutes left to the show. Raj, we're going to take your camera out for this one because we only have 4 slots, so I'm sorry. But
All good, guys.
we're going to
Peace
look at the old top 10. We'll bring it back after. We'll look at the old top 10, and then we'll look at the new top 10 just to see. So if you missed it, this was the top 10 we had before the first couple of regional events.
Oh, my camera's live. Okay, I was confused.
Yeah. Now, let's take a look at the new top 10. I think we go
stapled old.
just so everybody knows it's old.
It's stamped old.
Nice little watermark, yeah.
All right, let's start at 10. What we got? I'm nervous.
Number 10, top 10 teams FT. What?
Optic.
I didn't vote on this.
Interesting.
I didn't vote on this.
Optic's not on my list.
Wait, I did vote on that. Well, no, I did vote.
Okay, so this is the FT crew.
I
So
don't know how
Lee,
Optic's in
Roses,
top 10
T
though.
Bates, Chris,
I don't know how Optic's in
Ben,
top 10
and
though.
Jay, and Kier. Our video. Let's see number 9. Optic 10 is crazy.
We might need to have some more Europeans vote on this stuff.
Moist at 9. I don't know.
Moist,
Let's see.
EU.
Okay.
Let's see 8.
If Optic's in here, then okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
there we go.
There we go.
Good
Roll
shot.
one.
There
Good
you go.
shot.
Really
Okay,
comes.
roll one.
Let's see. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, this is an NA list right here. I can already see it. I can already see it.
what
NA,
did G2
NA
do
dominates
here?
the top 10,
I
baby.
don't
Come
have G2 on my
on.
list.
G2, I like G2 at 7.
G2
I like
gone
G2
since your
at
old list.
7.
How
I
has
like
G2
G2
gone
at
up?
7. That's a good
How
pick
have they
right there.
gone up?
That's a good pick. Number 6?
7.
Number 6?
How have they gone up?
BDS?
That's like frauded their way into a quarterfinals for major.
BDS at 6 was
BDS
5.
6. Number 5? You already know.
I feel kind of sick right
Whoa. GG that low? GG at 5? Oh, no, bro. GG a little low right there at 5.
Let's see 4.
This looks like it's going to be a very strong
this
top
list is
3
terrible.
for Europe.
This list is
Wait,
terrible.
wait, we're running out of space. We're running out of space.
Wait, where's FaZe?
Wait, we're running out of space.
Where's
Where's FaZe?
FaZe, bro?
FaZe, Karmine Corp, Liquid, and
Please
Vitality.
Vitality Liquid.
What you missed one of them?
Wait, so you've not got one of Karmine, Vitality,
Liquid.
or Liquid in
What
this?
are you doing?
2.
What have you
guys
done?
This is the worst attempt at a list I've ever seen.
What?
Where are Liquid and
my
where
are
Vitality?
You forgot about Liquids.
What has happened?
You've
Don't.
forgotten Liquids. They forgot
You've
Liquids.
forgotten Liquid! What are you doing? What is this show?
You guys had Liquid number 5 last time, and now they're not even top 10. What are you
This
doing?
bunch of frauds absolutely scammed a slot on the main channel. What have you done?
What are you guys doing?
This is the most fraudulent list I've seen in my life.
I've never seen a worse attempt at a top 10, and I've seen some bad ones.
This is horrendous.
North
Can we
America,
get this
baby.
off the screen, please? Can we
Embarrassing.
I like
please
that
get this
list.
off the screen?
I like that list a lot. I like that list.
Can we get
I'm flexing. I'm flexing. It ain't looking good right now. How many?
Where's
How many?
it?
That was
Still trying to
six-
make a debate out of it.
That was 6 North American teams. Liquid, we wiped them off the face of Rocket League. They no longer exist no more. We hit them with the
I don't
Thanos.
believe
We
it.
snapped them out of existence. You had a good weekend, Toodaloo. We don't need to see you no more. Liquid, see you later.
But no, your list would have actually been okay if you had Liquid like 3 and you bumped everybody else down.
Yes,
one.
I
think it would have
agree.
been fine.
I completely agree.
Yeah, if Liquid were top 3 alongside Vitality, Karmine, and then you bumped FaZe, Complexity, Gen G, BDS, G2, fair enough. Rule 1 Moist, that's a good top 10. You forgot them though. You forgot Liquid somehow. How have you managed that?
Believe that.
How have all 6 of you forgotten Liquid? In order for
Don't
that to
say all
happen,
6.
all
Don't
of
say
you
all
must have
6.
It's actually
Daz,
interesting.
Daz,
I'm
where did you have
confused.
Liquid?
I'm confused as how Liquid's not on there. I'm be honest with you. I definitely
have Liquid at
definitely
3.
voted Liquid.
Okay.
I
Did he
definitely.
actually?
I
Where did you
definitely-
have them?
Wait, hold on.
Somebody
Did
troll,
Bates forget them? We need to know.
I need to know who forgot Liquid because
Was
there's
one of you
7
did. One of you did.
But even if we forgot them though, they should still be on there.
they should still average high if only one of you forgot them.
They should definitely still
We
be on
got
there.
at least 4 people who have Liquid on the list.
Yeah,
so
I don't
I'm
know.
not
by the
I-
way,
it's giving
Everyone
error.
everyone in Discord is arguing, saying like, "I put Liquid on my list." By the
Well,
way,
yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
like
not me, it's
5
not me,
people to
guys.
have Liquid on the list. So how is Liquid not on the list?
Let's say we
Did you
hit him
both
with the
forget them? Be honest. Be honest.
we
Did you
hit him
both
with a
forget
Thanos
Liquid?
stab. No, I picked Liquid, bro.
Bates, you forgot them, didn't you?
Oh,
Did
bro,
you guys
I
vet the
Ben
graphics? Did you
put
look at this?
Optic? Did you put Optic, Bates?
Oh no, I didn't put optic, bro. Don't worry about what I did. Don't worry about what I did.
I'm
bro.
worrying. I'm very worried right now.
I need to see this spreadsheet. I need to see who did this.
Had you all listen? Had you all seen this graphic before the show started? Did you all
No,
like check it?
no,
You
no.
didn't check it.
No, we
Oh,
like
it's
we
a
like to see it. We
surprise,
like to see
okay.
it live.
Yeah.
We like to
It's
see
a
it live.
surprise to see.
Yeah, we like to see.
Okay. Okay. Oh.
That's a good list right there. Make sure to put that on Twitter. I want to see what the reactions look looking like. No Liquid,
Let's-
no problems.
Oh, you
let's-
want that farm?
Let's go to. We got like 3 topics left.
I might have had G2 at number 1. Chat, where are the odds that I had G2 at number 1? Put
G2
ones in the
number
chat if I had
1.
G2 at 1. Put 2s if you think I'm a reasonable person. I'm just interested to see.
Is there not another option? There has to be a third option.
Uh,
There has to be a third option here.
let's move on. Please.
It's okay,
Please.
Stumpy. Listen, your team, they're doing okay, but apparently not good enough.
Furia, G2, FaZe, version 1. Which team goes the furthest? The race for the Boston is closer than we think. Let's take a look at the Spring Open bracket. To talk about the Spring Open bracket, because like we said, things are starting to really heat up on the North American side. That is not the bracket! I want to see the bracket!
Please, just burn it.
Oh,
Somebody
right.
just
Get
delete
this
that
off the
PNG, please.
Thank you. These are first round matchups, if you guys didn't know.
That's the tone
let's see.
change.
Complexity, Team Axel, Rebellion taking on version 1, G2 and Koi. Lots of competition here in the first round matchup. SSG, NRG first round. Rise, what are we feeling about these initial first round matches? How do you feel
Do you
about
want me
it?
to run you through them real quick?
Yeah, run me through them. Let me see who you got.
We got Complexity. I don't see
Cool.
them losing to Accelerate. No, it's just Team Axel now.
Yeah, it's just
just
Axel
do
now.
Team
They
Axel.
changed it.
I just have Complexity. Quick win. Shopify are an underrated team. I've been saying this. I think Two Piece is a top player. V1 didn't look good, but I think this is V1's make or break regional, so I'm gonna have to put them there to win that.
Okay.
G2 Koi. Now my boy Jan, my boy Sosa. I do want to see him win. However, G2 also need a good result in this regional to like solidify major chances. So I got G2 winning that. Optic M80, I don't see Optic losing that. Even though M80 are an underrated team. FaZe, who is 021? Sorry, no disrespect, I don't know who they are.
It's Astro, Angel, and Tool.
Okay, that'll be a 3-0 for FaZe. Then we got Dignitas versus Furia. That's a Furia win. Genji, Hey Bro. Hey Bro is expert money and
No, that's
no,
Sup.
that's-
No.
oh, that's up.
It's
It's
Creams,
the other
Aris,
Korean
and
team.
Hawk.
My bad.
Hockey?
Hockey, yeah, Hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey's a solid player. But G1, G1, Genji. Sorry.
Genji.
They're gonna win that. Space Station NRG. Wait, NRG a 9th seed.
Yeah.
Good for them.
They went 3-2 in the closed quals, did they not?
It's like points, right?
Yeah,
Points,
okay,
last
makes sense.
results.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
It's
11
one
seed,
of those.
Bro, like I said it so many times, but the NRG. Let's talk about that for a second. The NRG fall off.
No, not again.
It's sad to see, man. We need to see
Oh,
NRG
the camera's
compete at the
back on
top.
Rise.
We need to see him at the top, bro.
Cut your losses, NRG.
Right,
please.
he's trying to get his like next season transfer ready. Like
I'm trying to get the pre-contract.
for the fall split.
Hey, you
Ready
already
to
know
hit my
my next chapter. Right, stay in RG. It's already coming. He just on
Yeah, but,
BDS for a short
I
little
do
bit.
feel like I went back and watched their. I don't want to harp on them too long, but I went back and watched their closed qualifier stream, and it was just sort of quite sad to watch. It was like watching a team get relegated from the Premier League and then going down again, and it's a bit like, come on, lads, like let's get some new energy in.
And then
like,
Garrett hit
you've
like
got
the
to break
greatest
up the
double
dream
tap I've
team.
ever seen in my life, and it kind of like they got a bit of like energy from that, but
Was that Garrett on the right wall?
no,
on
it
the
was
left
like
wall, but yeah.
left wall.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was on left wall. But they should have lost that game. I'm gonna be honest though.
Can you stop
Delta
being
had
a
an open
hater?
net.
No,
No,
such
it's
a hater, bro.
It's not a hater. Can you shut up? Like, can I
Oh,
say what I'm saying?
He
They're
leaves
like,
the
Delta
team
had
and he
an
prays on the
open net.
downfall.
You see it,
Yeah, like-
Rise, huh? You see it?
Okay. Oh my God. Can I say what I'm trying to say?
Go ahead.
Like they
My bad.
actually, literally should have lost
My
the
bad.
game. There was an air dribble bump. Net was wide open. Delta had a free shot. He hit the crossbar. They should have won the game. Like they should have lost the game. But then they won. Gary G hit the thing and they won. I'm not saying NRG bad. I didn't say anything like that. I'm just saying they should have lost, but they won. Dang, y'all be so ready to jump on this narrative. Like, go somewhere with that,
Rise,
man.
yeah, first, see, so angry you got Rise.
We know you hate James Bot and all the rest of the NRG boys, but you don't have to make it so obvious, man.
We know.
It's alright. It's alright.
Yo, I'm
It's
sick
okay.
of y'all,
It's okay.
man. I'm
It's
so
okay.
sick of
He
y'all.
got so angry about that chat. Y'all see how bad? Y'all saw how animated he gets. When he gets that animated, that means that he really get into him.
I will say as well that fair play to James Bot for making that even remotely entertaining, the NRG stream. Like, that is fair play to him. He was going through the motions on that, and then when they won, he was well up for it. So good man, James.
That's a real fan right there.
He's one of the biggest carry of NRG.
No,
at
that's
the
a real
moment.
supporter. That's a real supporter of the
That's
team.
a real
Hey,
supporter.
no, Rise. He stays when they're at the best. He's there. But no, that's easy. It's easy to be a part of a team when they're at the best. The real testament of
when
how
they
much
did.
you care is
When
when
they
you're
did.
down. And James Spotty stayed. But see, the fraudering over there, he left. He hopped ship so fast he can't even remember. And then he tries to backtrack. I got clips on my Twitter of this man saying, "Why?" He's screaming about it, but James Spotty's still there. You know why? 'Cause he's a
James
loyal fan,
Bot, the
a true
goat.
NRG fan.
Real
All the
respect.
NRG
Yeah,
fans,
got respect.
I
He's a
respect
real
all
one.
you. I respect all the real NRG fans.
Yeah,
So
I
eventually
respect all the
NRG
real
will be
NRG
back.
fans too.
And
Me
NRG
too.
will be back.
No, they won't. They won't actually. They won't.
Yeah,
be
they
back.
won't. They won't be.
Like, I don't know
You
why
just
you
gotta
lied
tell
to
them
them.
what
They
it
won't.
is.
They won't.
I don't know why you lied to them, but
Yeah,
no,
they're gone.
you're not going back. You'll probably have a new, completely new players next season, with one of them being a content creator or something like that. But they're not coming back. So let's not lie to the fans, the real fans. They need to know the honest truth. Okay. Anyways,
This dude's an op, bro.
anyways, that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about which team is going furthest in the bracket. Y'all always want to talk about NRG. Man, let's look at this bracket, man. Wait. Which team has the most pressure on them this weekend? That's a good question. Which team does?
Oh, moving on. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, me personally,
All right,
I'm
we gotta
saying
move on so
version
y'all
one.
can do y'all's prediction bracket.
Right.
V1.
Who has the
I
most
agree with
pressure?
you
We can
guys.
go. We can
I
go
agree
quick.
with you.
We got
I
two
say
V1s.
V1. Ryan
Johnny.
says V1.
The most pressure. Oh, V1, of course.
V1.
Yeah.
Yeah, V1 have to make
By
that,
far.
quote, super team work.
Wrong answer. Furia.
Nah,
It's not Furia, bro. It's
nah.
V1.
Furia. You've done all
Why?
this movement. You haven't made a major yet. Haven't made a major yet. You're one of the best teams in the game last year, which made a roster change for Lost. Haven't done anything yet. This is the regional where you really show. Furia needs to make the major. They need to make it.
They're
They have
fifth
most pressure.
equal. They're
V1 is
they're
supposed
fifth
to be like
equal
the
in points. They're
is
fine.
the
Like,
most hyped
they're
up
good.
NA player ever, probably, and a superstar in beast mode. If they don't make at
Yeah.
least a top 8, then it's shocking.
What I will say as well is that when we were talking about super teams previously on First Touch, we were talking about putting Daniel and Beast Mode together, and I believe Bates, you said put them together and just hand them the trophy every time.
Well,
They've not had
I was
that. They've
also
still got
on
that
the
pressure.
contingent that with First Killer be on the team.
That's
Yeah,
end of the
but,
season.
I mean-
so.
Yeah, that's not happened yet. It's not happened yet. But I mean, nah, it's got to be the most pressure on them. Everybody's talking about them like way more than Furia right now. Furia just came 5th equal. V1 finished like 9th equal. Like V1 have got
are
more
currently
ground
in
to
8th.
cover.
Furia
They've got
are 5th.
higher expectations. Furia have already got a set level that people know to expect from them. You know, kind of like 5th to 9th range. Everybody thought V1's going to be like 1st, 2nd or something. So they're way
Going on-
off the pace that people thought they'd be at compared to where Furia now know the team's at. So yeah, there's pressure on Furia, pressure on G2, FaZe, but V1 by far more pressure. They've yet to deliver.
Fury at least have got like that points behind them, and they beat V1. Bear in mind in the first regional too, so they've got that over them as well.
And
I
they
think
just
V1
swept the close call as
pressure.
well, so they're in good form coming into
I think
this.
Fury do have pressure. I think Fury absolutely have
Not
pressure.
as
Making
much
a
as
change and then
V1,
being
yeah.
worse. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You've got
V1
pressure
is
on
different
that.
though.
V1 needs like a
is
top
just that extra
4
level.
to like get back into the running.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Even that wouldn't be like them clear top. I think
Yeah,
they'd
no.
still be outside the top 5. So like top 4 is to like salvage it and then set them up for another top 4.
Right.
Whereas Furia can just like get top 6 again and they're fine. They'd probably be like in the top 5 if they finish top 6 again. And by top 5 I mean on total split points. So yeah, I think Furia's in a good spot. But V1
I mean,
not
I'd
so
also
much.
say as well that V1, if they win, then they face off against Complexity. Obviously, if Complexity win, which is the same matchup as last time where Complexity 3-0'd them.
Yeah,
So they're
that's
going to
not
be a bit
good.
scared about
Whereas-
that happening.
Whereas Furia, they're projected to play FaZe, right? And they've never lost a FaZe ever in any iterations of the rosters. So like that's got to be a good matchup for them.
Too bad FaZe is coming off a finish in 9th. I mean, and looking at recent history, FaZe
FaZe have a lot of
finish in
pressure on them too. That's a shout. They
Oh
have
yeah,
a lot of
FaZe is
pressure.
FaZe is a good answer. But
FaZe going against Furia, the team they've never beaten, and right after a 9th place finish is a ton of pressure. I wouldn't say that Furia is the team coming into that with pressure on them. It would be FaZe really, because Furia is on a bit of a streak right now. They had one bad series against SSG, but apart from that, they've been on one.
Interesting.
Pre-split and mid-split as well.
Well, we ain't got. That's
Well,
interesting.
let's go.
That's interesting.
Let's go through this match by match. That way we can really kind of see where everyone's doing here. Okay, so we have 4 here, so this will be a little interesting.
No, I'm just not gonna vote, and you shouldn't vote either. So there's 3.
Okay, so then this is gonna be a European. Okay, well, it's not. Okay, anyways, Europeans are gonna pick the NA bracket. This is actually gonna be really interesting. Let's bring the bracket up on the screen. We're gonna go match by match.
We're
So
going to be quick with this,
rig
right?
this for an international top 3. Yeah,
We're not
boys?
listening to Johnny on
Yeah,
this,
boys.
Stumpy, because this guy is deluded. Where's Cole when you need him? Bring him up. Get him on the
Yeah,
face.
we do need the Oracle, to be fair.
That's
We
true.
do.
That's true.
All right, we got Complexity winning that.
Complexity,
No debate. Come on.
Complexity
That's-
win.
That's
V1, yeah.
100%.
V1.
I don't know. I don't know.
Slow down.
We're speed running here.
You
We're
can
going-
speed
we're-
run, but we gotta get.
Are you
our
sure
team
you
in
want to
the
go
back.
V1 over Shopping?
Hold on, I'll type him out. I'll type him
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Complexity
V-
version
I
1.
know that you back them. I know that you back them,
No,
right? but
V1 they swept Rebellion in the last regional.
I just rate
round
Rebellion like highly. I think they're a good team. I think they
Yeah,
could
they're
I
good,
pull
respect
they're
that you
it.
good.
back them, by the way.
They're
I like
good,
that.
but I think V1 they swept them last time. That's one matchup that I think they'll be confident in. So
I do have
saying
G2
G2
then.
versus Koi.
I do have
G2.
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 I think
I think
G2.
Koi are decent. I do
Koi-
like Koi.
Yeah,
but I think
quite
G2
solid.
Koi made a game as 8, and they look good in the 3s.
did.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
they do.
yeah.
I quite like Matey, by the way, over Optic, but I appreciate I'd be
Really?
the minority on that one. I
I'd
think
say
Matey
Optic.
are actually really decent.
I
also
think
it's
M8.
pronounced
I think
but-
M8 are good as well. But didn't they come like last or 12th in the last regional? Like
Yeah,
they
last I
kind of
believe.
they
Did they?
struggled.
No, they came second last. I like the second group.
Yeah,
of
12.
last. They lost in lower
Optic
bracket
looked
round
really
2.
good. We've got to go.
Yeah,
Optic
Optic got top
surely.
3.
Okay.
Come on.
That's fine. We're a
Yeah.
democracy. We can do this. That's fine.
FaZe.
FaZe. Yeah.
That's a.
Yeah, FaZe.
I've got Furia.
Furia,
I think
yeah.
Dig looked awful in the first regional.
Dig were a bit disappointing, bless them. I don't think the major did them any favours.
All right,
Yeah.
Genji. Hey, bro.
Gen G, yeah.
Gen G.
And then,
I,
as much as I
I'd like
want
to
to say
argue-
NRG, as much as I want them to win, they're not
I
going
want
to.
to.
They're
I
not
want to
going to.
say it though so
Yeah,
bad.
Space Station.
I do as well, but it's just got to be Space Station.
It's
Okay,
Space Station,
SSG. SSG have actually impressed me recently when I've been quite down on them. So yeah, SSG,
SSG.
All right,
SSG, and
hit
Gen
that-
G. All the
hit-
Gs.
Gen
hit
G,
the upper
SSG, yeah.
quarterfinals.
We've predicted no what's it called?
We've gone
upsets.
for some upsets. Furia's an upset by seeding, technically.
Yeah, apparently.
So that's a
Come on,
that's
Johnny.
an upset. V1's also
wait,
an
so-
upset by seeding.
Okay,
so,
complexity V1. Complexity.
Yeah, complexity.
I don't know. I don't know. If V1 win the first, I don't know. But we can go Complexity. V1 have
I think
definitely
it's
got
going
it.
by history and
exactly
going by
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
But that's what I'm saying. If V1 have to turn up, like this is when they need to show up.
They
Mm.
do, yeah.
I would like to throw
Well,
my
I'd
hat in the
agree.
ring here for Optic over G2.
Bates, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm just I have no thoughts. I'm not picking. I'm just letting y'all do your thing.
Why are you guys not
I feel like
involved?
I feel like Optic.
I guess we could have. There's 5.
It's
I guess we could have done.
There's
EU
5.
bracket, apparently. We've just said they've
Let's get these guys involved. Come on.
All right, fine. I'll join. Says,
We want to hear you involved.
G2.
I think Optic.
So okay, they've joined in and it's still split.
No,
That's
we're
for
five.
you guys.
We're five.
It's
yeah,
5.
no,
It's
I'm saying
5.
it's joined in and they've added 1 to each. So it
I got
here.
G2. That's my call. Game 5.
Oh, why do I have
Johnny,
to
I'm
split
going
the
to-
decision
Johnny,
here?
don't
Johnny.
do Johnny.
Johnny, be smart.
Nah,
Johnny, look
he's,
at the
he's not
points. Right
smart.
now,
He just
Optic
wants to be a
is
troll.
third.
Don't sway him,
If
don't
he
sway
picks
him,
Optic,
don't
he's
sway
just
him.
trolling.
No,
Let him
listen.
pick, let him pick.
I just want to say, first of all, picking Optic here is absolutely not trolling. They look really good. I think
Yeah.
that they're favourites to make
Yeah.
the major at this point. But I do predict the G2 regain, so I'm going to say G2 here.
Yeah, give me
That's fair.
G2.
Democracy.
Give me
and we
G2.
accept that
3-2
decision.
over Optic. 3-2 over Optic.
I think that's a close series as well.
Atomic
guys.
Masterclass.
I think that's
Yeah,
close.
good
I think that's a
Atomic
really good
Masterclass
series.
game 5.
FaZe,
I mean, they beat
Furia.
him in a best of 7. So I don't know. But
Did you say, Johnny, that FaZe had never lost to Furia?
No, I said Fury have never lost to FaZe.
All right.
Furia,
This-
Okay, you said
they've
that?
played FaZe a few times, a couple times in the past. I think like 3 times. They lost to them last season, and then they played twice last season and once last season, once this season. They lost both. So yeah, I don't know.
I backed the
It's-
FaZe regain after
When-
their poor
Give
result
me FaZe.
previously.
See,
Give me FaZe as well.
this is the one. When I said FaZe have a lot of pressure on them. If they get to this series, it's gonna be complete nerves. Because if FaZe lose this, they're looking terrible for major.
It's bad. It's bad.
This is
yeah.
a must-win for FaZe.
That puts them in the same spot as last regional too, losing in the upper bracket quarters, and they can't lose in the lower two.
I
I'm
would
saying
go-
Furia here. I'm saying Furia because
I want to
they-
go Furia
they've
just to
beaten
make
FaZe.
Daz make the choice, but I don't know. I
Wait,
do
why is
think.
FaZe already?
No, Rise, whatever you believe in, okay?
Well, I think. Bro,
I
thing
think
is,
FaZe will regain, but not
We
Furia.
need
I
to
think
move.
Furia's
Pick
gonna win.
FaZe or Furia.
you can wake up on a Wednesday and Furia be the best team in the world, and wake up on the Thursday and they don't make it through close calls.
Okay, what if they woke up on the Friday and played that series?
Then I got Furia. We're going Furia.
Right.
Furia,
Bora.
Okay,
let's go.
what? Okay, so Furia get through.
No, DeMar hasn't voted.
Damar's number
2-all.
5.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going Furia.
Let's go.
Boo.
That's what we like to see.
That's
All
a
right.
bad pick.
Bates, me and you, mate. Me
I
and
know,
you.
it's okay. Gen G, Space Station, Gen G.
Genji.
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 Relatively clear.
I would have
Man's-
said Space Station, but I've been outvoted, sadly.
You sure have.
Hey on
Alrighty.
them, not me.
I mean, Daz has had his vote bought, to be fair, so.
Oh, true.
Okay,
That's all I
okay.
got.
Until Space
Complexity,
Station come through with the check.
complexity G2.
Complexity.
Complexity, yeah.
Oh, dang, that was 3. Okay, Rise, we don't have to say anything.
Yeah, just stay
Complexity beats G2. Furia, Gen G, give me Gen G.
Genji.
Genji.
Oh, well.
Genji.
I don't know. I'm just useless. I'll go home. I'll stop. I'll leave.
You've got to speak faster.
Okay.
These waffle
Complexity, Gen G. Ooh.
This is
Genji.
boring. No, we can't have Genji Complexity in the final, bro. It's weak rinse and repeat.
Well, it's not the final, it's upper bracket final.
Oh, my bad, on me.
All right, give
bracket.
me Gen G this time.
I'd also agree with Bates. I agree with Genji.
Give me
All right, it's
Complexity.
2 Gen Gs.
me
1 complexity.
But I mean, it doesn't matter. Dad's gonna say Genji, so it's
Oh,
Genji.
hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. It doesn't even matter what I say. Genji is.
Listen,
Okay.
it's the revenge tour.
All right,
Give me my
Gen
boys
G in the grand final. Let's go to the lowers, please.
Right, boys, we need to get this international again.
Okay, Team Axel Rebellion. I'm gonna go Rebellion.
Rebellion.
I'm gonna go Rebellion.
Okay, Koi versus M80.
I have
I'm going
Koi.
Matey.
I have Koi.
Koi.
My
I'm
boy
going
John.
Koi.
Okay, so Rebellion and Koi. Z2021 going up against Dignitas.
Dig.
I don't know, you know.
Oh,
I don't
mean,
know.
to me,
I-
it's a battle.
Dig are solid.
Dig
It's
are
a battle of
all.
mid.
Dig are
It's a
all.
battle
They had a
of
bit
mid,
of a
man.
wobbly. They'll be
No,
all right.
no.
They'll have a regame.
No, I don't know.
No? Fair
said
enough,
no.
respect.
They had a bit of a wobbly. Come on, mate. They're
They
awful.
did have a bit of a wobbly.
They look terrible.
Z2.
Yeah, a bit of a
Z2 are not
wobbly.
that great either, though. They like went 3-2.
True. I'd still have Dig, but then Dig out top 12 in my book.
All right, so are we
Yeah.
going Dig?
Going.
Yeah.
Okay, Dig. Hey, bro,
I'm gonna say
NRG.
Dig, yeah.
Give me the
Hey,
general.
bro.
Oh, wait, they're no
NRG.
longer the general.
Hey, bro.
Give me
They're not the
NRG.
general.
Hey, bro.
Give him the general.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
right.
NRG.
NRG right there.
Give
Okay.
them NRG.
We're going right back to the top. Space Station versus Rebellion. Ooh. I'm going to take SSG.
SSG.
I think Rebellion's a
Yeah,
good team, though.
SSG.
I think
Yeah,
Rebellion's a good
SSG
team,
for
though.
I'm going to
Sure.
go Rebellion.
Okay. 2
I-
SSGs,
I-
1 Rebellion.
See, I want to go
Rise,
Rebellion.
don't cower out
but
on them now.
I kind of want to go Rebellion as well, but SSG looks so good
Mate.
last regional.
Mate, join me.
No, you're good. We already had 3.
Oh, we
Yeah.
did?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
FaZe.
3. I said SSG.
Cool.
FaZe
Fair enough.
Koi.
FaZe.
FaZe.
Alrighty, FaZe. We got a FaZe, unfortunately, from Tiger Queen. Optic Dignitas. I'm gonna go with the green wall.
Optic.
Yeah, Optic just better.
Okay.
This match is surely going to be on mainstream
Version
if it
1
happens.
NRG. Version 1.
You would really hope version 1, to be completely honest. Like in
Twist.
this situation.
The general. The general's gonna win. Twist.
Okay.
They're going through.
Ooh, V1 NRG 1-1 vote. Stumpy.
I've gone V1.
Test 2-1. Johnny.
Wait, is it Daz still to vote?
I
Yeah.
haven't voted.
Oh, he's
You
just
want
gonna
me
be a
to vote?
hater.
I'll
He's just
go.
going V1. He's been a hater of NRG.
I'll
the whole
vote
time.
right now. Give me NRG.
That's all we like to hear.
Out the fake vote of all time.
I'm glad he got his vote in because I'm going to say V1 and I wanted him to vote.
Why we put NRG
I'm
right there?
saying
It's
V1.
version 1.
Yeah, V1
Optic
goes.
I said
version,
V1, it's
Optic
V1.
version 1. Yeah. Ben,
Optic
slow
V1, yeah.
down. Optic version 1. Alrighty, Space Station FaZe. I'm gonna go with FaZe.
Ooh,
FaZe.
that's tough.
I'll join you on FaZe.
This is the FaZe regain right here.
I go with
yeah.
FaZe as well. I
I'll
see a
go
little
This
FaZe.
is a good run for them as well.
Yeah, I'm
They've
going
got some
FaZe,
easy teams
yeah.
in front of them.
It is.
Okay,
Don't get
FaZe
any
right there.
teams.
Optic version 1. Ooh.
Ooh.
I
that's
go-
a-
I'm going to go Optic on that to kick it off.
I'm going
wow.
V1. I'm going V1.
Wow, what a match that is.
That is real close.
God.
That's
It
also that's a
depends.
lot
It
on the line.
Give me V1, man. Give me V1, bro.
It depends. 'Cause
Right,
you don't know
I'll
who's
go
gonna
Optic.
show.
It's on Dazarin. It's 2-2.
It really depends because if we get the same AJ performance we got last time, I don't know if V1 can handle that. I'll go V1.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a
I'll go
V1.
I think that's very
V1.
close.
A1 going through.
that's
V1
some
goes
six.
through. Then we got G2 versus FaZe.
FaZe.
I just want to say, last time G2 played FaZe, it was a sweep. Give me G2.
True,
Give me
G2 looked
G2.
really good then as
It
well.
was a
They
sweep.
looked so
It was a
good.
good sweep.
Give me G2. That's 1-1. Johnny.
I'm going with FaZe.
Oh,
I'm
wait.
going with FaZe.
Rise 2-1 FaZe. Who's going next?
Go on, Johnny.
I'm unfortunately Stumpy. I'm about to kill it. I'm going FaZe. I think
I was going to go
I
FaZe.
think it's the FaZe regain, bro. FaZe regain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad
Regain
pick. I
rolls
don't
through.
like it. I don't like that.
G2 are fine. They're fine. They're still like 5th equal, 5th equal
Yeah, they got
twice.
two top
Okay.
sixes.
I guess
okay.
FaZe needs the points. FaZe, they need the points more. You can have them this time. Furia version 1.
Furia.
Furia for me.
Version 1.
You know what to do, right?
Rise,
It's
you know where
next.
you're going.
I want the last
Me?
pick.
he wants. I know what he's gonna do though.
You know what to do,
right?
You should go version 1, bro.
I'll go version 1, sure.
We got the reverse sweep. Version 1 are going through.
I knew.
Let's
this was
go!
gonna be
Let's go! Version 1 takes out
That's a
Furia.
Champions Field dagger. Let's go on to the top
then
4.
we got
Ooh, dagger.
The dagger.
then we got version 1 going up against FaZe.
Face.
FaZe.
That's where version 1's run ends,
But
bless
that's a
them.
good run for them compared
That's
to
a
the first.
really good run.
That's
Yeah.
what our
That'll
run
give them
ends.
confidence into Regional 3.
FaZe
Going
versus
through Furia is
complexity.
massive.
FaZe versus complexity. Listen, I think if FaZe makes it all the way to the lower finals, they're not getting stopped. Give me FaZe.
No, wait, hang on. Sorry, don't put that in immediately, production.
No,
Calm down.
FaZe over V1
No,
is
yeah.
already in. It is.
Yeah, it's FaZe versus complexity.
Yeah, FaZe complexity.
FaZe
is the vote
complexity.
Right now.
I got FaZe.
Oh, wait, all of you guys said?
Yeah, we swept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
FaZe.
rip.
FaZe already got 3.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah. So we're at lower finals right now.
I'll pick FaZe over complexity.
I'm phased
I'll
on.
go complexity.
2 phases, 1 complexity.
I'll say complexity because it sounded like they were pretty mentally ready for that matchup. CRR called them out after winning the last event. I'll go
Yeah, complexity
complexity.
also
To-
being
to
the
be
current
honest,
kings of NA.
I think FaZe have had a good run, but it ends here.
Mhm.
That's
Complexity beats out FaZe Clan.
So we've gone for a complexity Gen G final. Wow.
Once
Oh,
again.
Wow, that's an original
Hold
guy.
on,
Again.
guys. Actually, no,
Okay.
take that back. I take
Listen,
it back. FaZe are going through to
listen.
the grand final. Take it back.
I wanted to
I'm
put
cool.
Furia through. I wanted to put Furia through, but you trolled.
No,
Nah.
we're gonna.
You did troll that, to be
You
fair.
trolled, right?
FaZe are going through to the grand final.
Gen G FaZe. FaZe has the bracket reset. FaZe
Yeah.
FaZe wins the first series. Give me FaZe. FaZe first series.
Nah, Gen G just wins.
Nah,
Gen
Gen
I think
G.
Gen G just
Gen
changed
G.
it.
GG.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
Dazzler as well.
Yeah.
What a shot.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, I forgot about
Gen
Dazzler.
Mobile 1
Somebody mute him.
I change it. I change face. Give me face.
Somebody
Yeah, give me
mute
face
him.
as well. You know what? Yeah, go on face.
yeah,
We're
go
going
face.
face.
Go
We're going
face.
face.
Yeah.
Give me
Face wins.
Face wins.
Bro thinks he's in the team.
Switch
We
it
can't
for
let him think
face.
he's in the
There
team.
we go.
Yeah, give us face. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what we like to
Win.
see.
Top win.
Face up.
In honor of Rolders, who couldn't be here, we've done what you would have
He's
wanted.
actually watching replays
Well
of
done.
Genji Mobile 1 Racing as we speak, knowing that the Babberin is going to cry after they lose.
He started doing that little fake old hype up. Listen, we heard that for NRG for years. We all know that thing doesn't mean anything. That thing doesn't mean anything at all. It has no value behind it. No value whatsoever.
Unbelievable. No, it has some value because you almost said the general in that lower bracket. It's definitely got some value. My goodness. Now listen, that'll be on Twitter. You can agree or disagree as much as you want to. The entire FT crew on this panel that you see right now ended up picking the North American Spring Cup. So, took a little bit of extra time, but I want to say thank you to Rise, Stumpy, Johnny for joining us on the show today. Much love, much appreciated.
Appreciate
You
you
guys
having
are
us on.
absolutely amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, boys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys as well,
Lots
of
of love.
course. Bates as always, and everybody else who works behind the scenes to make this show possible. Thank you guys so much for what you guys do. Chris, Sky, Kier, Jay, Ben, you're all absolutely fantastic. And of course, you at home for being able to watch us here on First Touch as well. We absolutely appreciate you guys showing up and showing out, whether it's on socials or whether it's here in the Twitch chat. We see you and we love you and appreciate all the support. That being said, we'll keep it locked in. Lots of Rocket League action happening this weekend. You're going to want to tune in to twitch.tv/Rocket League to keep track of it all. This has been First Touch, episode 20 of season 3. We'll see you guys next week. 1, 2, toodaloo.